Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast. As I like to say, the only podcast that you didn't know you needed. I say to my two friends back from their travels, waiting for the show, feeling all right. Every day looking like a Saturday night. Got the wheels to the road. I'm along for the ride. I need a long, tall Sally to keep me up all night. Knock, knock. Never stop. Say hello, Josh.
Me looking like a Saturday night usually revolves me being in my PJs, yawning, and wanting to go to bed now.
You're not in the 20-year-old fighting weight, face down, blackout
Yeah,
Saturday night.
It's I think we don't realize it's like 3 shows in a row for Night Rangers. Got a pretty good tool. Like, I was pretty exhausted just going to the show yesterday and coming back today. I'm like, so let alone being on stage and running around and doing doing a show the day before. So
you didn't come home last night?
I did. I did, but I worked.
Okay.
I worked over this morning. So
The big differences between the layers of Night Ranger and Josh Ranger. They have someone drive and they get to sleep. Josh had to actually drive from venue to venue by himself, trying to stay awake, probably chugging coffee and monsters.
yeah, that's not as
There's
good,
a little bit of difference between Josh and
but the tour dates on my
Jack.
website are up to date.
Brent. How was your adventure? You guys were both at the time of this recording at the Phrase Pavilion there in Kettering, Ohio, off
last
Dorothy
night.
Lane, that I did not get to go to, even though I was a mere 45 minutes from Kettering, Ohio at the time of the show.
Technically, it was off Stroop Road. Technically, Dorothy Lane runs into Stroop, I believe, and yada, yada, yada.
I was close.
But
I was trying to drop some Ohio knowledge on people.
The Phrase is really cool. It's in the middle of just suburbia.
Yes.
And my wife couldn't believe it when she saw it. She was like, this is a cool little place. I'm like, I told you,
She never been to the Phrase.
Never been to the Phrase.
Oh,
and,
yeah. I like the Phrase a lot.
I get there and I'm in my brain. I've got Josh on the lawn. Josh, I've realized why I had you on the lawn. You're on the lawn for Ace Frehley and Alice Cooper. That's why I had. So I'm on the phone with him. He's like, do 180 degree. I'm thinking, I ain't buying into this 180 degree bullshit because you're right behind me here. And he kept saying, keep turning. I'm like, the lawn is not over there. Keep turning. I'm like, oh, there he was in seats. But so damn stupid.
There I was, exactly 180 degrees behind.
Yeah, well, I wasn't buying into it. I thought.
Well, I think it was more like I started asking like math, and he's like, he's subtracting pi from shit, and
Well, in our defense, Brent and I went to Amelia High School, which no longer exists anymore.
Well,
so our high school education.
I just wanted to say, I thought that motherfucker, he's out there.
Well,
just he's probably on the other side of me. Trying to tell me.
Also, there is no lawn at Ace Frehley and Alice Cooper. I'm in one of the last rows because they always have the hothead tickets for like $20, and I'll just go there, drink some beer, and see a show for cheap.
Rock out. Yeah.
So no lawn at the Rose Center in
it's not at the Phrase?
No.
Where's the Rose?
The Rose is a little bit north, right off 70.
Okay.
Basically a little bit west of Springfield.
It's kind of like would you say it's like a PNC pavilion? Not Riverbend, but PNC.
Imagine Riverbend without the lawn.
Yeah.
Just the pavilion.
Gotcha.
I've driven by it. I'm like, oh yeah, it looks like a Riverbend type. It's a shed.
It's a cool venue. The sound's not the best, but what's great about it is not a bad seat in the house and easy to get into and out of. So that's the Rose Amphitheater or something like that, and I think it's Huber Heights. I don't know. It's something like that.
Well, the Phrase was awesome last night. Had a great crowd, older crowd. I was amazed at how much older the crowd was because Styx is an older band than Night Ranger.
Yeah.
And of course, I think there was more fans there for Styx than there were Night Ranger. But boy, when they came out and did High Enough, Tommy Shaw came out, everybody was up. And then when they did Sister Christian, everybody was up. And when they did, When You Close Your Eyes, everybody was up. But for the most part, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I ain't sitting down. I came to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and as I'm moving around, I'm looking up on stage and I see Atbpo doing this to me from a distance, and I'm like, okay, I'm a dork. I know it.
But he recognizes you as a dork.
Yeah,
and so do
right.
we, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, it was great because he called my wife and I up to the stage before the show and shook my hand. I said, this is my wife, Christine. And he walks over to her. He goes, God bless you, woman. And he starts doing the little Catholic sign to her. He goes, I'm amazed at what you have to put up with. You know, bless you. And she just started laughing.
Yeah,
and at that point, she was butter in Ed's hands, you know.
All right, so this episode we're going to be doing is the Fans in Motion mailbag. We're going to be answering the questions that people had, submitted to Josh or put on the Facebook page, and maybe some private questions. I don't know, but we're going to try to answer them as best as we can. Some of the stuff we just don't know as much as we'd like to think we're in the know. Some things we're not privy to, I would say.
We can't comment about, you know.
Is that a fair assessment there, Josh, of what tonight's going to be about?
Yes, just a little bit of
some Q&A.
What's that word I'm looking for? Brick and brack? What's that? Something like that?
Bricka bracka.
Yeah, so just a lot of odds and ends we will be...
Well, this is I kind of like when we do this every night. This is, I think, the second one we've done kind of like this, and it's just a little loose. We don't have an actual format for this. We just kind of, Josh has some questions and we try to answer. When I say we, Josh tries to answer, and it's a little looser. I think we tend to have a little more fun with these and smile a little more. Last week's episode we did was on the high road with Night Ranger. Do we have any thoughts or feedback we want to share or talk about that episode? I liked your little map logo that you did, Brent, by the way. I thought that was funny.
That was the easiest art I've done to date. When I was sitting there thinking on that Sunday, I'm like, God, what am I going to do with this? And I just went, Google Maps.
Yeah, well, and I looked at that. I'm like, man, Josh was.
Yeah,
Josh was doing some driving.
I had this one.
I didn't feel sorry for that. I didn't envy you on that, Josh.
I went ahead. I did 3 of them because that way Josh could pick whichever one he liked. I did one with the Indiana Jones lines, you know.
Look at that.
And I'm in red, just going from Cincinnati to Wabash, and there's Josh in orange. You know,
as my grandpa would say, I'm like cow shit on the highway. I'm all over the place.
It's like an interstate love affair with you, Josh.
It is.
Well, just the logistics of where they book the shows on the dates. It just, God, you know, that just sucked.
Well,
for you.
I mean, for me, but
you.
I would be one of the guys who, if I was in, a band, I would be one of the road dogs. You'd have people that want to tour and don't want to tour. I mean, I like driving and doing all that stuff, so I would probably assume even if I didn't have to drive, I'd probably like it more. Or I'd probably get a CDL and tell you guys to fucking buckle up and get me a 6-pack of roadies up here and let's hit the road. But yeah, I mean, I just throw some new music in, or I got a 26 CD box set of the Neil Armstrong official autobiography on audio or whatever, and I'll throw that in, and hell, I mean, that'll get you across the whole country.
That's a lot of audio book.
Well, that's, when you got the big brain, you got to feed it.
There you go. I'm like you, Josh. I would have, if I had ever been in a touring band, I would have probably never gotten off the road. I love to travel. I love to drive places. I've driven, not to get long into it, but I've driven a lot of hours just for a concert to turn around and drive back. So,
I mean, again,
to me, it's the experience. I love that. I love the stopping at the gas station or some little choke and puke and throwing a burger down my throat, maybe go 10, 200.
I guess it's different when you're on the
definitely.
road for 200 days out of the year, and you don't go see your kids and stuff like that. So it's easy to, I guess, say that, on my end. But I guess just having fun. You have friends that don't even want to drive 3 hours somewhere, and I'm like, something's 9 hours away. Well, shit, we can get there.
Let's go.
We wake up early enough, we can get there fucking for happy hour.
Yeah.
So that map, I was all over the place.
All right. So, anything else you want to add to that, Brent? Previous episode?
Well,
Booger,
safe, solid.
For that previous episode, Dave Glazer had some kind words saying, he's basically just saying, hey man, it's great that, I got those experiences and stuff. So that was good of him. He was also saying Cinderella equals great, which is true. Mike Smith enjoyed the episode, and Thorburn Rolstad spammed a comment. So I will remove that right now. So there we
you go.
I mean, it got a lot of views. I think just, some people just enjoy. Everybody's different. Some people like the interviews. Some people like the vinyls. Some people like this and that. And I think some people just like us kind of just shooting the shit and talking Night Ranger.
Sure.
Plus, it's like Jack was saying last night, God, it's so great to have music back. And I think people love hearing people talking about their experiences after all this crap has happened in this world.
Yeah.
And to be out maskless, to see people smiling again, that's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Very cool. All right, so let's move on. Any Night Ranger news? Anything new that we can discuss? Tour dates, merch, anything that might excite the fans in motion themselves?
We had someone post on the page that they put up some new stuff on the website, which was the Night Ranger pin.
Oh, yeah.
More importantly, the Night Ranger necklace, which I think is sold out now.
Mm-hmm.
They put up some shirts, which they only had varying sizes, like small or medium or triple X, stuff like that, which they had a triple X of the Dawn of Madness shirt there. Brent, I don't know if you...
I have two of them.
All right, well, then F you.
I wanted the British shirt so bad, and I saw it was only a medium, and I thought I might still order it and just make myself put it on, and my better half's like, no, you're not doing that.
Well, you
just don't.
You could bring in the trend of like, what's the cutoff shirts for men? Just pull it down right below.
I was thinking Tommy Boy, like fat.
Yeah, no, I was gonna go there. I was just gonna go there.
But
listen, I got a medium Big Life tour shirt over here. I'll put it on. Don't make me do it.
Hey, we trust you. I
believe you.
No one's pressuring you to do that.
Shirt's coming off.
I was telling people how I walked into the camera view one day with my shirt off when we were recording last night.
Yeah, let's not.
Just to get your guys' attention.
God, why'd you do that?
God bless Christina.
Hold on, we gotta do this now.
All right, there, monkey nipples.
All right. So, anyways, what the hell were we talking about?
Night Ranger news.
Night Ranger news.
I know, but we brought something up. The web store.
Netflix,
So they either so that's another reason to keep checking the page, because you'll get that exclusive news of Night Ranger necklaces and other stuff on the store before they sell out, and they sold out pretty quick. I guess the other thing in Night Ranger news is the third single dropped on iTunes, and they put it up on YouTube. It's just the song with, there's no video or anything really with it. Can't Afford a Hero.
Yes.
Your thoughts on it?
Well, tell you what, it's I'll say it's a ballad. or it's darn close to a ballad, I guess. My initial listening is it's different. Got a little bit of in my opinion, a bit of a country feel to it. As I was saying before we started recording, I love the melody, the rhythm of the verse, like the chorus too. But I just love the cadence, the way the verse, the wording. Jack has a way sometimes of doing that. High Enough was another song that the way he sang High Enough, the verse. It's hard for me to explain it, but I like it.
The syncopation.
I'll take that.
Thank you.
1,000, Alex. So I mean, I like it initially. It's a fun. I shouldn't say fun. That's the wrong word for it. But it's nice to see something a little slower. I say what was interesting is I was listening to it on had a road trip to Cincinnati, and my better half was listening to it with me, and she's like, "Who's saying that?" And I said, "That's Jack." She goes, "That doesn't even sound like Jack." I said, "It is." So I don't know if anyone else has any feelings on that, but I can't say she's as big of a diehard fan as I am. So maybe she can't tell the difference between Jack and Kelly as easily as I can.
But she knows the difference between Jack and Coke.
There you go. Brent, you got any thoughts on that song?
Nah, I just would repeat what you're saying. I mean, everything about what you're saying. I lyrically, it's fantastic. It's Jack. Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with Jack Blades.
I mean, lyrically, it's good, and I mean, most of the time, if you know me, I kind of go more towards the rocking songs, even though I talk highly of Crazy World and Walk in the Future. So I guess maybe I'm contradicting myself, which would be the story of my life. But Breakout still, to me, the standout song of the three. There's other songs on the record that I enjoy more than that song. And but yeah, I mean, I think any of these other bands that we listen to would kill to have a song that good on their record. And we're, it's like I'm saying it's not the best on the record. It's like, so that's how good the stuff is. So, and it's getting a lot of positive feedback. I've read the comments on YouTube and stuff like that, and majority of people like it. So that speaks volumes right there.
That's what matters.
So when you hear this episode, I think there's only going to be like 10 days left to the new record drops. So we're getting there, boys and girls.
That's a good segue to the pre-order it.
Yeah.
And by the way, as of tonight, there's now 92 crystal copies left at frontiers.it. So they sold one since I told you Thursday night.
That's the power of Fans in Motion right there.
Hey,
one at a time. We're chipping away.
I'm just checking it, and it's funny, you can't check it on the European site. It only lets you put 2 in your cart. Well, if you put 105 in your cart, you put 1,000 in your cart, it'll tell you how much it is. But when you go to check out, it reduces it down to 92. So that's how I know how many's left.
So for those that don't know, you got 4 vinyl options. The red vinyl is everywhere, basically. You got the crystal copy, which is at Frontiers Music, either the U.S. shop or the European shop. The Night Ranger web store from nightranger.com is 400 pressings. And Newberry Comics, which is the blue vinyl at newberrycomics.com. So, and it's the one has the least amount of copies printed at 300. So there you go. Order one of those. Order the CD. Order the iTunes direct download, and help push the band to the top of the charts.
It was funny. We were talking briefly before in previous episodes about the autograph CD that's in Newberry, and I was telling Josh, well, there's a Japanese edition. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. He found it and sent it to me the other day, and I was telling some ladies about it last night at the concert because they were talking about how they missed out. And I'm like, I said, well, just message me. I'm going to post it and I'll send it to you. Well, I got an email today from one of the ladies. I should have done when I got home. I looked at it and she goes, now it's sold out.
Yep.
The Japanese one?
Yeah, at HMV.
Mm-hmm.
So, But yeah, it was funny. She's like, I'm on it, but my Japanese is not that good. So I took a screenshot of where you pressed to get the English, and sent it to her. And so when she said it sold out, I'm like, oh, I forgot to post it. I was going to post it. So
there you go.
So get the new record. Tour dates are still rolling in. Not much over the next probably month or so. The Night Ranger website should be updated. The link tree is updated. If you go to, so one newer show, I mean, it's not newer to me, I guess, is they are playing in the middle of September in Columbia, Illinois, which is right outside of St. Louis. Mm-hmm. There is the September 8th show in Cleveland, the Danny Repepe Memorial Show, brother that was of Ed Repepe, the Night Ranger tour manager that was killed last year. They're doing a benefit show, so get tickets for that. We will all be there. There's various shows throughout October and November. A few shows already in 2022, and I think they just announced in January they're playing in Key West. There's a festival. Eddie Trunk is hosting it, and I saw that he announced it. So there's a Key West show in January.
What I'm hearing, Josh, is a live show for us.
Well, by that time, they will realize how important we are to their success, and I will be in deep negotiations.
For the secret of their success.
Yeah. And they're like, how are you doing it? And I'm like, 25 hours in a fucking day, baby. Anyways, more tour dates rolling in.
And Brad announced on a podcast that they were doing the Sweden Rock Festival next year.
That's been up for a while.
Is it?
Yeah, it's actually been on the website for.
Okay, I didn't see it.
A couple months. So
not gonna lie, I didn't look.
It's like June of next year, I think.
And by the way, I wanted to go back when you were talking about the merch.
Yeah.
People, those necklaces and those shirts, that was just inventory they discovered they had. It's not new.
Well, we don't know that 100%. So.
Well, I mean, for it to sell out so quick and only have like mediums and smalls and shirts and what have you, I'm sure that was just leftover inventory. I'm guessing. So, hopefully they'll make more necklaces, but.
They might have gotten maybe the shirts were maybe they ordered 1,000 necklaces and the demand from Fans in Motion sold out all 1,000.
You never know.
Yeah, there's some. There's some dipshit out there that has 500 of them in their cart and still haven't purchased them yet.
No, I had about 5 people ask me, "Can you check the merch booth for those necklaces?"
I was one of them.
Yeah, and
Brent, if you see one, I missed it. Josh, even after Josh messaged me, he's like, "Hey man, don't sleep on this." And I did. And the very next morning, I was like, I'm going to check out and get that necklace real quick.
What I should have did is I should have just bought 50 of them.
Yeah.
Sold them for $30 on our page.
Oh, sure.
And just said, fuck it.
Yeah. But, next time, take notes.
I don't know. Every now and then I got a conscience and it pisses me off. So there, I don't know any more Night Ranger news. We got their new record coming out.
Anything? Brent, you done?
I got no more Night Ranger news.
How about new stuff? Does anything new they want to share with me, the fan?
Well, I guess the Night Ranger news before we go back is we talked about it a little bit, but we had a little bit of a Damn Yankees reunion.
Oh yeah.
So Friday night, July 23rd at the Fraze Pavilion, Kettering, Ohio, Tommy Shaw joined Night Ranger on stage for High Enough. You could have watched it live if you liked Jack Blades' Facebook page, because Jack Blades himself went live on that
How does
page.
he do that? That's a super long selfie stick.
There's a secret out there. A lot of people don't know that magic is actually real, and it's been around for about 3,000 years.
I was watching that live feed while we were driving home. So
there's actually a feed out there someone in the front row took, and it's
I saw that one
even
too.
Better than mine or Jack's.
But
anyways, so But yeah, so you had a little bit of a Damn Yankees reunion there. What is also weird is that's on that night, July 23rd, it's not the only night where two members of Damn Yankees were on the same stage. Ooh, what? Ted Nugent, Michael Cardelloni were on the same stage together? I say no. You need to go back and watch episode 7 of the Fans of Motion podcast, because on the third album that they recorded and never released, Damon Johnson from Brother Kane and about 80 other groups was on the third Damn Yankees record. And last night, Gary Rosington of Leonard Skinner had a heart issue. I think he had to have emergency surgery. And Damon Johnson filled in for Gary Rosington, which meant you had Damon Johnson from Damn Yankees and Michael Cardelloni on the same stage. So, not the only Damn Yankees reunion happening out there.
That's impressive. Now, can you tie all that to Kevin Bacon?
Well, I probably could. I'd have to probably think about it for a little bit. But
while you're thinking about it,
it would be real easy. All you can do is, oh God, I did it with Jeff Watson being in that movie Enchanted. Back to Kevin Bacon.
No, here it is. The Apollo 13 launch and that whole thing. Damon Johnson and Michael Cardelloni were on Earth at the same time that happened, and there was somebody that was related to them watching all that on TV, and Kevin Bacon was in that movie.
There you go. I'll take it.
And Animal House somehow.
Yes.
So, there you go. So there is some more Night Ranger news. On to new stuff. Picked this up for, I don't know, $3 or so. Anybody tell me what that is?
That's a cassette.
Man, motion cassette.
It's a promo copy.
Is it sealed?
No. So
oh, you put the hype sticker in there. Okay.
Well, it's a promo copy, so come on, you know this. Promo copies have the hype sticker on it. So
I don't know that.
It looked like it was on the inside. That's why I said that.
So you usually know you have a promo copy because the hype sticker is usually on the shrink wrap, but on promo copies they don't come, shrinked. They just put the sticker on the front, and usually you'll have some type of.
Yep.
So there is that for promotion only.
Sale is unlawful.
Nothing really different on the cassette itself, but
it doesn't even say promo in the fine print on that.
No, and usually they don't with the MCAs, not even on the vinyl records. So, but anyway, something for $3 I didn't have. What else? I picked this up. It's cooler than I thought because I didn't know it was this big. And it's got a ticket in there. So it's an advertisement. It's pretty good size.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe more the size of a postcard or something like that. But I was wrong. This is from October 25th, 1993. The Shark Club in East Harmon. So you guys will have to tell me where East Harmon is. Special guest Wildheart. So this would have been during the Night Ranger, Brad Gillis, Kelly Kagi, and Gary Moon era. But just kind of cool to get, not only the ticket stub, but, the concert poster as well. Maybe spent $10 on that.
Andy's looking up that city right now.
Did you say East Harmon?
Harmon. Harmon. Area code is 702. The Shark Club.
Oh,
and if you, look at this. It's got a moon on it for Gary Moon, I reckon.
Wow.
All right.
I guess I gotta do
Nevada.
This right then.
Huh?
Okay, there.
It's Nevada.
Nevada?
Somewhere in Nevada.
Las Vegas. Area code 702 is Las Vegas. So, I mean, unless it's changed. over the last 30 years.
Probably not.
It could. I mean, it wouldn't have changed that much. Just like where I lived 30 years ago, it was 614, and now it's a different one. So
Yeah.
so it possibly could have changed, but Nevada, or at least close to Las Vegas, is going to be close. So that was a Las Vegas show in 1993, and then non-Night Ranger related, I think a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Metallica colored vinyl from Walmart, and I got the last one that I wanted, which was their best album, Master of Puppets, and it is on a kind of like, I think they call it battery brick.
Oh.
So I completed my colored vinyl for Metallica, and I just picked this up.
Did you find it in the store, or did you have to buy it off
Walmart restocked them, so if you find them, right off, you only got to pay like $20 for them.
Right, because I told my wife last night we were in a Walmart, or not last night, I mean today actually. Well, it's after midnight, yesterday. And I'm looking through the vinyl, and she's, why are you looking for Metallica? I said, there's at least three, what do they got? 4 records at Walmart?
Mm-hmm.
And the Black Album is always there. I said, the 3 albums, I said, if you can get those, you could probably flip those on eBay for $75 a piece, easy.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming back up on the website. I mean, I've thought about doing that, but again, it's just...
Yeah. She's, well, if you see them, buy them.
The other one... The other one I bought was this, Poison's Greatest Hits.
2 different colors?
2 different...
Double vinyl?
2 different colors, so you had the green...
Yeah.
Just like neon, darker green.
Poison mean.
And then you had the neon. So I was like, all right.
Did either of you guys get out on Record Store Day and pick anything up that was out there?
I didn't go this one.
No.
I usually don't go.
Yeah.
Usually just
I didn't go. I know there was a big, the big hoopla was the DGs, the Foo Fighters.
And there was a Pearl Jam.
Yeah, they did that a live thing.
Yeah, and I know people were complaining that some stores around here didn't carry the cassette.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we don't want cassettes. We're vinyl.
Yeah. I don't usually get out there unless I know there's something going that I want. But I mean, again, I've said it before. I'm not really collecting anything anymore, and I just don't have a need for it. But sometimes you just can't. I can't pass it up.
I mean, it's fun to go out, I guess, and like when I went out this last one, it's just like, wow, I see that, and I'm like, if it wasn't Record Store Day, would I buy it? Because I almost got like the 2 Black Sabbath picture disc, and there was the Motley Crue cassette box set, and they all look cool, but it's like, all right, what am I going to do with this shit? It's like, like the Metallica is about where I'm drawing the line. It's like, but how I got around it was I'm making a box sets of records for my kid, and it's like, well, if I buy the color ones, I'll just throw the jet black ones, in with his set. So he's got, the essential Metallica. So that's kind of how I convinced myself to do that one.
Yeah, sounds good.
The coolest release I had seen, and I'm not a fan, but John Mayer released an album with a very 80s looking cover.
Yeah.
And they used the old CBS Nice Price sticker on it.
Yeah, that's great.
And I thought, wow, that's fantastic. I mean, he's got the Venetian blinds behind him and the way they spelled it. I mean, it looks straight out of 1986,
Love it.
And I'll tell you who has some of the best colored albums are these like heavy metal, like, death metal bands.
Yeah.
They will, their colored
the blood ones are great.
Just so phenomenal. It's just like, and like, what's the Kiss one I get? I said looks like salami, or what's the pickled meatloaf or the pickled?
That was Love Gun, I think.
No, that was Alive. What's the lunch meat that has like piccolo or whatever? But yeah, they got one that looks like that. So it's just like, how do we get that shit? And these other bands get all the cool shit. But anyways, so there is some new stuff for you. Are we ready? Oh, we got Fans in Motion.
You got Fans in Motion.
We got some people we got to recognize.
Brent Tree.
Well, since we didn't do it last week, I've got a couple from last week, and I got some from this week. And we also forgot to mention happy birthday, Fitz, last week because we're so professional. So happy belated birthday, Fitz.
I did it at the end. Remember?
No, I don't. I didn't go back and rewatch it.
Oh, you were there, Brent.
I
think
it all runs. I don't remember. Anyway, so if we did, we just love our Fitz, so we're going to do it again. David Peterson had a post last week, his first post, and man, all three of us I know went nuts over it. Everybody seemed to. I mean, it was a biography basically of his Night Ranger years as a kid growing up. Yeah. And he lives Maine or something like that, Andy?
Yeah, he's up in Maine.
And
he lives down east there.
Yeah, and his history of his fandom I thought was pretty cool. It was very detailed, to say the least. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So, David, welcome aboard. We appreciate you. Keep up the good stuff. And no, we can't make him come up to your area. Yeah. Can you make him come up here instead of just touring Ohio? I'm like,
yeah. No, that's
no, can't. I have nothing to do with it. Sylvia Bazo Atwell, she had wore her Brad Gillis shirt, and everybody was going crazy. Where'd you get that? That's the one I had on that time when I posted it. And I thought it was pretty cool she had it, so wanted to give her a shout out. And it was also her birthday last week when I was going to do this. So happy belated birthday to you. We didn't cover that one. Mike Hetler, his wife lost her towel in Wabash, Indiana, and his wife, wanted another towel. And Tammy Schmidt-Allen picked up a towel in, where were you at after Wabash?
Wisconsin Dells.
So she picked her up a towel in Wisconsin Dells and sent it to her. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's a solid move there by
good. That's a fan emotion. Yeah, so Tammy, good job. Appreciate it. I can't wait till you go to a show and I need something. So
I dropped my necklace at the show.
I dropped my necklace, 3 shirts.
Yeah. And my pen and, blah, 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 blah.
My Jack Blades pick.
And last night, our good friend Cynthia Binder caught Kelly Keggy's glove and posted it today, along with some great videos she took and some pictures. So that was cool. We had Sean Ragnier posted a picture of his cassette from December 13th, 1988 of a concert he recorded off the radio. And that just took me back, because I remember
KGB,
doing that.
Which I chimed in, of course, Brent, as you know, I'm a fan of the KGB chicken, the famous KGB chicken, which we want to become the San Diego chicken.
Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what he got that cassette from. I was like, oh, my God, KGB. I'm probably the only person on this page that's going to pull these two things together.
See, what y'all don't know is Andy used to dress up like a chicken back for the Amelia High School football games because he wanted to be close to the cheerleaders. And so his mom made him a big chicken costume. And so he was the Amelia Chicken. And one night, the Amelia Chicken couldn't make it to the game for some odd reason. So some idiot had to fill in for him. Be on the field and flapping the wings. And
this remind me of Saving Silverman. Remember, Jack Black was you're a fighting warbird.
Amelia Chicken, yeah.
I will someday find a picture I got somewhere and post a picture of me as
there's
a school
picture
mascot.
in our yearbook, of us on the homecoming float, and you're in the chicken.
I absolutely did these things. It's all about me. And getting close to your
and people think it's such a big stretch that you're on a Night Ranger podcast.
Yeah. It only made it better if we had a picture of him and the WKRP fish next to each other.
Oh, it would have been awesome.
Or the WPIG pig.
Ooh. Okay, so back to my shout-outs. Tammy Schmidt-Allen comes up again. Her moon dance pics, fantastic pictures. Same with Amy Pereira Johnson. She had taken some pictures of moon dance, and it was cool to see those stuff. And I'm going to give you a little heads up about that show and the Rock Fest here in a second as well. Something I learned last night. Vicky Cook, videos of Kettering. She took some awesome videos. Vicky Ackinger, I believe her name is. The postcard. We all saw the postcard.
Yeah.
I was waiting for her to mail it to me. She never did, and so I'm kind of disgruntled about that. And the last thing here, I'm going to go here and give you guys screenshots. We have here Cynthia Binder.
Oh, boy.
On the left. Kathy Kirkman Lane with her Shaw Blade shirt on. Josh Stofferson looking pretty dapper there. A fat me. And a Melissa Atkins Miller. There's me telling Josh I'm going to stick my tongue in his ear. That was pretty fun. But, yeah, it was great. There was more Fans in Motion there, but these are the only ones that showed up at the merch booth when we announced that's when we were going to go out there. But, all nice ladies. Had a great time just chatting with them, and, they were all real nice to my wife as well, She's not into all this stuff, but, she thought it was cool.
Shocker.
She thought it was cool, about how we all get to meet up and what this page has done. And, and I just wanted to thank them. They're cool, and they listen to the podcast, especially Melissa. She was going on about how cool the podcasts were, and, and I appreciated that a lot.
This podcast is cool?
Yeah. I like all three of you guys. I'm like, really? All three of us? Even me?
That's how I knew she was lying.
Yeah, so she was really cool. But when I was talking to Ed last night, I asked him, I said, how did Rockfest go? His Rockfest went really good. I said, really? I said, because they were kind of like a turd in a punch bowl with all those metal bands there. He said it was great because all these headbanging guys had a chance to relax, and they were singing these songs they didn't have to whip their heads around, He goes, and everybody really enjoyed them. So that's cool, because I hadn't heard anybody comment about how Rockfest went over. And of course,
you saw the video of Corey Taylor singing with them. I mean, how cool is that? The guy from Slipknot singing "Don't Tell Me You Love Me."
And that got some traction. It was on Ultimate Classic Rock. It was on Blabbermouth. I think the video is over 200,000 views. So it got them a lot of exposure. So
I think it's like you had said, Josh, when we talked about this, and I don't know if we talked about it on the episode or off air, but it was like Brent said, the fish out of water. But you're like, it's going to one of two things, though. It's going to expose them to a crowd who they wouldn't normally get. And then you see, like I said, this somewhat accolades from, Phil Anselmo was backstage. Anselmo was backstage with them, getting a picture taken, and Corey Taylor's coming out and singing with them. I think that says a lot for our guys from the Bay Area.
Yeah, it gave them some credit, I believe, in my heart.
I told Eric, I go, listen, if you guys really want to make some headlines, you guys come out there and you do Limp Bizkit's set. All right? And before every song, Jack just goes, you know what? This is a Limp Bizkit song, and it's pretty good, but I think we could do it better. And then they break into whatever shit song it is. And the next song, and he says that, but then also he's got to mention, and we got a new album coming out August 6th. And then they do, Nookie. And then, just
break stuff. And
they just do down the row, they just do all of Limp Bizkit's set, and then just as they're walking off stage, all right,
thank you, good night, keep it up.
Follow that up.
What could only make it better is putting those West Borland contacts in Eric Levy's, so you can take the sunglasses off and just have those like monkey eyes.
Well, we'd have to put them on Brad, for the guitarist, but it'd just be fun watching Brad walk into shit and, falling off stage. Him laying on the concrete still smacking the whammy bar and shit. So, whammy bar, ding.
But yeah, it was it was cool hearing the stories about how they just all got to sit back and just sing me away, and people knew it, and they were really well received. And then the Moondance Jam, they said it was really cool because they were standing on stage, and when they opened the gates, they just saw these people running to the front.
I don't know if they did sing me away at Rockfest.
I don't know if they did. I just
because I talked to Eric a little bit about the set list, and they did like everything in my mind like they should. It was like, okay, take out Secret of My Success, take out Goodbye, take out Sentimental Street. You add both Eddie and you add Night Ranger. The only thing they didn't do, which I would have said, is take out 4 in the Morning and put in Why Does Love Have to Change. it's just a little bit more of a rocking song, and they've played Why Does Love Have to Change recently. That was the only thing in my head I was thinking. But other than that,
they could have put in Halfway to the Sun.
Well,
that would have
the biggest thing
is
they did Breakout, because my argument would have been every song you play at that rock fest is going to be Breakout, because they're not going to know these songs, and you can either play a song they don't know and that song be 40 years old, or you can play a song they don't know, win them over and say, hey, guess what, we got a new record coming out, go get it. And you might convert a few people to go buy those new records. So they did play Breakout at Rockfest. The merch table at the Night Ranger show, it was all right. They had the Dawn Patrol jersey shirts. They had the muscle shirt, right?
Muscle shirt.
And they had the girl Sister Christian shirt. And I think they had the bottle openers.
But not the one with the logo. Like not that older Sister Christian shirt where it says Sister Christian inside here. It was one with like a wing, an angel wing, I think, on it.
Probably.
I think they had two women's shirts and they had the two regular shirts.
I actually ended up buying a stick shirt.
That's the oddest looking Night Ranger logo I've ever seen.
It is.
And what's crazy is the stick shirt I was going to get had the material like I don't really like. I don't know how to describe it. And the lady brought over 4 shirts. She goes, every single shirt has different material. And I didn't mind the other ones, but this was probably the design I liked probably the most. It was the cover of the new record and had the dates on back. So WTF. So I went ahead and
like an actual tour shirt. I love the old tour shirts. They had the dates. That was the cool part.
Yeah. So I went ahead and I usually try to get them if they got the dates on back. So,
but does it have Kettering on the back? Because when I was there earlier, the girl was going through all the shirts, and the shirts that she was looking at didn't have Kettering on them.
Well, whatever girl you were with didn't know what the fuck she's looking at, because 3 of them that I looked at all had Kettering on the back.
Did they? She kept going through. She's, I don't see it. I was standing from a distance. I was listening, waiting for the Night Ranger booth to open.
There you go.
All right, let's. And
Josh?
one other Fans in Motion thing. We did have a former member of Night Ranger comment on the page, Mr. Gary Moon, who was just reminiscing. He says, I've had the time of my life with Kelly and Brad. Wrote some great songs, did Mojo, kicking ass through the 90s. I left, so Night Ranger had an offer to record a new record. Then Brad and I recorded Alligator. I did 2 solo records. I just recently did the new Brad solo CD, which will come out when the time is right. New Night Ranger record coming out. I've heard a few tracks. It's some of the best I've ever had the pleasure to hear. Kicks ass, rock and roll coming at you, so break out. Cool little words that he wrote, and like I've always told people, you don't have to be in one camp or the other. You can just be in the camp of good music, and like I said, it's all good, man, in the Night Ranger world. 2021, I'm seeing Night Ranger and Styx, and they're playing. Each of them are playing new stuff. Both got new records coming out. Yeah. Who would have thunk? So,
not I.
So there we go. So this episode, what I do is on the Facebook page, Fans in Motion, I will occasionally put up something that says, hey, why don't you leave some questions or topics you want us to discuss, and we will discuss them on the next podcast episode. We were going to do it on the last episode, but the last episode ran pretty long, so we decided to do it on this one. And so now for the hardest part is me finding the actual post from a week ago for us to discuss.
My favorite was, how does Andy get his hair like that? Andy?
Well, I get a fade on the side. This is a little short, and I put a little bit of what's called Viking gel. And that's what it is.
AKA product.
Yeah.
AKA Norwegian jizz.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, at my age, I'm happy to have what little hair I still have. I'm holding on to it.
Yeah, mine waved bye-bye.
Yeah. The other question was, Andy, what's on your bookshelf?
What part? Yeah, Peter Chris right here.
They weren't specific.
Yeah, Peter Chris. I have a Kelly Keggy glove up here somewhere. Right there. I too got a Kelly Keggy glove. It's pretty cool.
Hey,
although Brent, I don't know how he plays in gloves.
You didn't mention the cat rocking out to.
Oh, that's great, man. That's hysterical.
Fucking love that cat. Wish my cat did shit like that. All mine.
That glove.
All mine does is ignore me and shit in a box.
I got the Steven Adler book behind me.
What about this? We didn't mention this on the.
Oh yeah.
You know what else I do have, Brent, too? Hang on.
I liked how
Brent will like this.
What's her name? Sat in that chair hours after he did.
I did just skip me a new shipment, Brent, for those that are trying to keep score at home.
Wax lips. I was at the dollar store the other day, and I almost bought you a pair, and then I realized they were.
That.
Andy eats those people. He eats wax lips.
I'm a fan. I can't really explain it, but
fucking weird. I can.
Oh, it's so sick.
But, where the hell is this post at, people?
I did get a new. Shipment of those in. I try to keep some handy just in case things happen. I need to chew on some flavorless wax.
Andy, what are your thoughts on the weather that you're having in Tennessee?
It's muggy right now. I'm not a fan.
What about the Passion Play deodorant?
Yeah, our buddy Chapin.
Ding, ding. There is David Peterson's post. If y'all.
Yep.
Good post, David.
And now he's wearing his Big Life tour shirt, right?
Can fit into it.
I told him, I said, don't make me get mine out. Now mine is sitting over here.
Did I already? Oh, this was a good one. Mike Smith posted the Christmas card from Bruce Cohn.
Somebody said I looked like somebody in the back row, and I didn't see it. I'm like, I don't see that at all.
I thought maybe they knew the guy and he was a dipshit.
No, that wasn't it.
Now, Brent, you and I have had a discussion
he was
about this.
He had charming, great looks. You know.
This is considered an extra large.
Yeah.
If you want, I'll be willing to step out of the frame here and try this shirt on.
Well, you know what? Why not? Josh is looking for a post.
Hang tight. Let's see if this still fits.
This is what we do to save the show.
I'm gonna take my Bengals shirt off. Hooday.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Hang on, I'll turn my Bengals hat around.
Right. Found the one from May 26th. Oh, all right, I found it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well we got a Fans in Motion exclusive here coming up here.
Why is he doing it off camera?
Because it's prettier that way. I would have done it on. I would have done it on camera for the show, for the Fans in Motion. I'd have done it.
The lady folk wish that he was doing this on. Whoa!
Extra large, my ass.
Look at that.
Oh,
ooh, my God.
You can show a movie on that.
Any angle but that. Oh, God.
That is the Small Life Tour is what that is, not the Big Life Tour.
You've grown into it.
Does it look good?
It does from that angle when you're not standing up.
It feels like one of those things you put on your dog, like a calming blanket.
You should have came in going, yeah, I know, I'm totally ripped.
It's stretched out like the Fan in Motion logo now.
Brad and Fitz are pissed that they're on the nipples.
They're off to the sides. I mean, oh yeah.
All right.
I'll be me, Gene Okerlund, talking like this to you. Andrew, how does that new shirt feel?
It's uncomfortable, actually.
No, you're was trying to get you to do your macho man.
I can't, man. I'm uncomfortable.
I'll tell you what, me, Gene.
Wow. All right,
that's the last time I'm doing my me, Gene Okerlund impersonation.
That's for the guys. It's for the things we do for love.
Oh, God, that's going to be in my head now.
You're welcome. Like walking in
the rain. Oh, God, you ass. Okay.
Did
Josh,
you find your questions, Josh?
I did.
Or should I keep dancing?
And you feel like a part of you is dying.
Wow. Is
Hello?
that my headphones that sound like shit?
That was me.
That was
Oh,
just,
it's you.
that's just-
Oh.
May.
All right.
Come on, Josh. We've gone
This
off
is what
the
happens when
rails.
you weren't prepared with the questions. I had to ad lib this. I had to save the show.
Here we go, Amy Piera Johnson. Have you ever talked to Carrie Kelly? Have you ever talked about the Carrie Kelly Cheap Trick connection on the podcast? With me, I'm not off the top of my head sure what that connection is, except maybe Cheap Trick is the one band that Carrie Kelly has never been in.
Yeah,
I'll
I
look it
don't
up while
know
you're
what that
talking.
connection would be. I mean, if she went with a Todd Howarth connection, I could say, oh, yeah, Todd Howarth, who played with Ace Frehley, played with Cheap Trick. He was the Gary Corbin of Cheap Trick, in fact, for many years.
So, unfortunately, Amy, I do not know the Carrie Kelly Cheap Trick connection. You will have to inform us. I mean, I know Carrie Kelly was, I think, on a Cheap Trick like tribute CD, but I don't think that would be where she's going with that. I don't know. I know maybe he played additional guitars on a record or something. I unfortunately do not know. So the next question comes from Lori Pierce. Ask Brad if he was born hot or just gradually became hot over a standard period of time. Thanks. Emoji, 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 emoji. Lori, Brad was probably born hot because he was born in Honolulu, Hawaii.
And
So-
his mother was Miss America, who that makes her automatically hot.
Oh, you're talking low. I thought she meant temperature-wise.
Oh.
So there you go. Born in Honolulu. Jim Kuhn, talk about Brad's other business, the other business, the music for ESPN, Fox Sports, video games, and his website. It's really cool. I think Brad is the only one out there that currently has a website, bradgillis.com, if I remember correctly. A lot of people probably do not know that if you watch like Sports Center, stuff like that, where they're doing the highlights in the background, you really don't pay attention to it. But there will be rock, just I won't say generic, but just some rock music playing in the background. And Brad does a lot of those for ESPN, Fox Sports. I think he did some maybe video games and stuff, and it's a good little way to make a living from home, and you're not on the road. And David Lauser did something similar. He did the Sims video games. So I think there's more information on what Brad does on that on his website, but that is another income-driven job that Brad does outside of Night Ranger is the studio work for the music for ESPN and some of the other sports highlights. They say just ESPN and Fox Sports. Kathy Kirkman Lane, who was at the Kettering show, I think it would be interesting to talk to the guys about things they do when they're on the road with their time off. What they do to kill time until the evening show, fun side trip things, sightseeing, etc. I know Joel would like to look for places to shoot hoops. Jack's like to look for old war relics. I always thought I'd like to offer to take the guys hiking my area if they were interested. Do you think they would take me up on it? Well, Kathy, you're a all-around great person. I'm sure they would. As for what they do, I really couldn't say for sure. I mean, just what you said. We know Jack likes to collect the World War II and other guns and stuff, kind of collectibles. And I know Brad is probably into vintage guitars. So if you got vintage guitars, Brad's the man that you want to go to. As for the other guys, I just wouldn't know. And again, you're kind of going into their personal world, which maybe if we did know, I don't know if we would even say. I will say that, being a little bit around all that, there isn't a lot of free time. There's always something to do that they're doing. I mean, just getting to the venue, back from the venue, sound check,
dinner.
Yeah. Then, sometimes rehearsing. I mean, if you're kind of rehearsing in your room to do new songs, like breakout and stuff. So there's not as much free time on their end as you would think. So unfortunately, I don't really have a good answer for that question than pretty much what you've already stated.
Usually that free time comes when a band's in a city. Like if they've got a layover for 2 or 3 days because they don't have a show, they might stay in the same city. I know Rush did that when they were here back in '89, because I was stalking Kiss and ran into Geddy Lee at a Walden's Books. He wouldn't sign any autographs or take any pictures, and the guy was about 5 foot tall. But yeah, Rush had already played like 2 nights before, and they were still here. It was crazy.
Okay.
It sucks they won't sign or take a picture with you.
No, and I remember the issue of Rolling Stone that was out was Bart Simpson, because my buddy Joey went up and bought it and just asked him to sign it. He's like, I'm not signing anything. So I'm like, well, nice meeting you, Geddy. We turned around and walked away.
Okay.
Kevin Avery, who has been the other fan favorite other guitarist? Jeff was the original, but there have been some wicked talented guys standing on stage. Right, Carrie, Joel, and Reb. My vote, including Jeff, is Carrie. Perfect fit, killer chops, and a stage personality is a perfect complement to Brad and Jack. Discuss. Andrew?
Well, I'd say, interesting enough, Reb I don't think counts because he wasn't really there. I thought I was seeing Reb, but it was Joel. So, yeah. I think the interesting thing about Night Ranger is that the fans totally embrace whoever they bring in. Like, I loved Joel when Joel came in. Like, I thought, this guy's amazing. And he is. He's truly an amazing guitar player. And then when Joel left and Carrie came in, I'm like, I love this guy. Like, this guy's great. So I don't know. I don't know who the fans would say. I from what I've seen, they just seem to embrace whoever's standing there. I don't know that they really lock in. I think some do, clearly, but I think, I don't know. I like them both. I like Carrie a lot. I mean, I think he's really brought something to the show.
Yeah, I thought Joel was a really good pick when he first joined the band. And I mean, we were receptive to him right away. So when Carrie came in, I saw the first show with Carrie when it was his first official show as a band member at St. Cecilia's. It was right after Joel announced he was leaving, and then all of a sudden he was gone.
Yeah.
So they had a show that Sunday, and I miss Joel because I really like Joel a lot. But I got to tell you, Carrie has won me over. I can't imagine Carrie not being in the band now. He's perfect for the job.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic fantastic showman, and it seems like, watching that breakout, it seems like he really gets a shine in that song.
Yeah.
He seems like he gets a lot of solo time, which I think that's really cool. So and he plays the right parts. I mean, he plays what it would sound like for Night Ranger. So I'm thankful we have him.
Yeah, I mean, kind of agree with what each of you said. I mean, Reb was there at a time when really Night Ranger wasn't too visible. I mean, they were playing some dates, but it was real sporadic. I saw them in Nashville with Reb. Did he ever have a chance to really make a dent? Probably not, just because, number one, they weren't doing much, and he wasn't there that long. I mean, Reb brought name recognition. I mean, you're a lead guitarist in a former pretty good sized band. So you definitely brought some name recognition. I think what really got people with Joel was, Joel brought all that Jeff Watson stuff with him. It kind of bridged that gap, between Jeff and Kerry, because it wasn't as really abrupt, because you had Joel doing the 8-finger tapping. Joel played the gold, the gold top Gibson. Yep.
And the long blonde hair. I mean, he kind of...
Yeah, so you fit that, and Joel was always cool with the fans, and, always smiling, so it was a good fit, and that's obviously why Joel, is still succeeding today. Kerry, different than Joel. I mean, a different look, different playing style, but Kerry's got that pedigree as well. I mean, you're not playing with all these groups and all these musicians if you don't have talent. So, Kerry's got the chops, and, Kerry gives him a good, he gives him that good rock edge, that, that look on stage of, being a rock star.
He looks like a rock star.
He's hip.
Yeah, so it works out, and he plays, the Gibson as well. So, I think, we've had some people on the pages, on a post before. People went back and forth over Kerry and Joel. I mean, it was all in good nature, but again, I think we're lucky to have either one of them. So
it's thankful to have a debate.
Yeah,
like you said, in 2021.
I guess we're thankful that it's not an easy debate. You know what I mean? Like, that guy sucked. This guy was good. I mean, we're saying both were great. How do you really pick? So,
can I ask you this, Josh?
No.
Regarding Reb.
The next question is, what's that?
Was Reb? Was he ever intended to be in the band, or was this kind of just they needed a guitar player to fill some spots? Do you know?
Well, I'll say that I'm not in the band, so I don't speak for the band. I don't really think Winger was going hot and heavy at the time. Not that they are now, but they're doing a little bit more. Yeah. So I could only speculate. I never talked to the guys about that. I would say that I would just say, I think if they would have offered it to Reb, and Reb still able to do some Winger stuff, maybe Reb would have took it. But Reb was such a different player than Jeff, to where Joel could do all that stuff, and Joel would be 100% dedicated, to where Reb might have to go do Winger stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because, Reb was there for a while. It wasn't like he was just there for a few dates. He was there for a year, a little bit over. He's on the record, the live in Sheboygan, live record. So, I don't know. And if you want to get into it, it's like, all right, so do you have to pay Reb more than you would a Joel Hoekstra?
Sure.
You know what I mean? When, especially then, it was, Night Ranger's doing really good now, and they have been. And not that they were doing bad then, but, they weren't on the roll that they are now. And so it's like, okay, can we play, this guy X amount versus this guy's X amount, and still basically get to, we're still going to draw the same people. So, I mean, that's stuff you got to look at too. I don't know. That's just all speculation. And
I just thought I'd ask.
The one thing that Kerry's got over all of them is Kerry's kind of like a chameleon. Off stage, he can walk right past you, and you wouldn't even notice him half the time. Doesn't even look just like the same guy,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It is cool. I've seen pictures. I'm like, God, that's Kerry. Doesn't even look like him. Especially when he puts the trucker hat on.
Vicky Achinger, 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 Achinger. Always wanted
Go ahead.
to know what was the very first song Jack ever wrote, or how do they settle their differences on a song? I'm not sure if it's the first song that Jack ever wrote, but wasn't "Lick My Love Pump."
That was actually Nigel Tufnell.
Ah,
Nigel.
Yeah. Well,
Very close,
I will say
that was his Mozart
I thought I had it still.
Bach piece.
He wrote the song on. Well, the first, I guess, credited song was going to be that Psalm 159 stuff, right?
Psalm 150. I thought I had it sitting out, but apparently I don't. And I don't even know what the title of it is. But the Christian record with Greg Eckler, Psalm 150. Jack's not pictured on the record, but he is listed as an additional musician, and he has a song that he wrote, "Let Him Live in Me" or something like that. And it's a Christian record, came out in 1974. So that's the first thing I know of Jack being out there. And I brought that record, and me and Jack looked at it at Clear Lake. So that's the first thing I know. Unfortunately, I do not know the answer to that, but I will, hopefully we'll get Jack on here and someday, and we'll answer that question. But the first song that we know of is the Psalm 150 record, and he has one track on there that he co-wrote. I'm pretty sure he doesn't sing it though. Sylvia Atwell followed that.
As far as how they settle their differences, or it's rock paper scissors, I believe.
That, and they usually go by feel, is what they have said recently. I do know that I think Kelly originally was supposed to sing "Rumors in the Air," and then they switched to Jack, and it just felt better with Jack. Now, is there a studio version of Kelly singing "Rumors in the Air"? I'll have to ask him.
I would hope so.
That would be awesome.
But it's one song I know that the vocals switched on. "Sentimental Street" was Jack Blade's sung, and
Goodbye.
then I don't think "Goodbye" was ever, as far as I know. "Goodbye," Jack Blades and Jeff co-wrote it, but I always think that was a Kelly song to be sung. But "Sentimental Street" was originally recorded with Jack, and then Pat Glasser was like, hey, I want to see Kelly sing this, and then they kept Kelly's. And there, I'm pretty sure, is a studio version of Jack singing "Sentimental Street." So there you go. So that is basically is how it's just, feel is what they've always said is just, kind of just rehearsing it, who has the better feel for it.
Yeah.
And Sylvia Atwell wants to know, I know the first song they wrote as Night Ranger was "Let Him Run," or so I've read, which is correct. Sarah Griffith like to know when they're going to get someone to update and keep updated the tour section of the website. During a conversation, M3 has said the band is booked through Halloween, so where are the shows? That is updated now. So there you go. If not, go to the link tree. The link tree is also usually updated. So Christy Casey Orman. There are a few dates listed on Ticketmaster. I think she's agreeing. Blah, 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 blah. But anyways, yes, hopefully that's all been solved. Lori Barr, what's some of the guys' favorite workout routines? Lori, I do not know. I would say Andy, though, his favorite is jumping to conclusions. Brent, what's your favorite workout routine? Opening the window and yelling at the dogs next door?
I like to shout it out a window.
Shout it out a window.
I shout it out a window.
Lori,
no, my favorite workout is taking my fork, putting it into a thing of Skyline chili, and lifting it to my mouth, and then go, God, that's good.
I like that too.
Mm.
Even though she didn't ask what ours is, I don't know. I like doing maybe shoulder presses and working the old tricep there.
Oh, there's a PBR thing in there with your workout too.
The 12-ounce curls. But Lori, I do not know what the guys' favorite workout routines are. I do know they eat pretty healthy on the road, like smoothies and yogurts and stuff. And I don't think I'm speaking out of school to tell any of that. So, and that's usually what it is. You know, I tell people, you can exercise all you want, but it all starts with diet. You don't have a good diet, it don't matter how much you work out. Chris Nichols, how did the name Night Ranger come about? Well, Chris, you need to go out, check out whatever episode number it would be. Probably in the 30s or 40s, I would think, where we interview Britt Gilmore of the band called the Rangers. Night Ranger was originally called Ranger. They got the record deal with that name. They were getting ready to release the record, and then they saw in Billboard magazine an advertisement for a country band called the Rangers, and they realized, holy shnikey, we cannot be called we cannot be called Ranger because there's a band called the Rangers. So they had written a song called Night Ranger, and they went ahead and just changed their name to that song title, Night Ranger. That is the real fast version of that. But that is basically how it went, is they changed it because there was a country band out there called Ranger.
Yeah, I like how Jack's telling that story in concert now.
Yeah. I like
pretty cool.
I like how he's telling it. I'm like, I could call that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could call that guy right now.
Keep talking, Jack. Hang on 1 second. We'll get the guy on the phone.
I clicked on that, but there we go.
Maybe in Nashville.
I was trying to get that. That's what the logo would have looked like.
Patrick Fitzgerald, no relation to Alan, has a few questions. What songs should be re-recorded? For example, I would love to hear a reworked version of Restless Kind. Well, I think Restless Kind is fine by itself. In my opinion, what songs should be re-recorded? You guys got any opinions?
Anything re-recorded? I would like to hear Man in Motion as Mad Emotion. I would like to hear Comfort Me as something else. Nothing. I mean, everything sounds good. I mean, if anything, I just want remixes. I want a whole remix catalog.
Well,
not a whole catalog.
Be kind of you could do a re-record. So I mean, just instead of remixing, let's say they re-record it. What would?
Well, they did that greatest hits re-recording, and I never listened to that. I go back to the original stuff all the time. That's what I like the best. So I'd rather have a remixed version of the earlier stuff, so the EQ levels match up with the more current stuff when you're blasting it in your car.
Song I would like for them to record, and I would like for them to change the lyric, would be "Tell Your Vision," so that I don't think that I'm hearing television. I don't know. I'd have to probably take 30 seconds to think of what I would change it to. But that would be, just something off the top of my head, because I love that song, but all I hear is television.
That's the way I've sang it since day one.
And so that kind of pisses me off. As a re-record, maybe, I think 7 Wishes. I think you could make that just a little bit heavier now. I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
And just maybe, give them a little studio time to change some stuff. And I think Eric maybe doing some keyboard stuff. I think, you could probably do something fun and different with that. But just off the top of my head, what would I have them re-record?
Well, you would take, wouldn't you take the French horn out of
No, you do not take the French horn out of Better Let It Go.
Better let it go.
Yeah,
You do
there's
not.
Josh, like, re-record
well,
Better Let It Go.
okay,
And
I
take
could
the orchestral stuff
Big
out.
Life, the title track. The title track, Big Life, because it rocks, and then you get into the verses, and you kind of get a little bit keyboard heavy, which I don't mind the keyboard. It's not. I don't really like those ones. So, yeah, I mean, I could probably go through a little bit of Big Life, and
I would like to change the drum sound to Man in Motion. That album, it sounds kind of electronic sounding.
Yeah, a song I think would be maybe cool to re-record, and it's almost too grandiose as Rain Comes Crashing Down. It's great, I like it, don't get me wrong, but you sometimes can put too much on a song to where it just you lose the essence of the song. And
not like November Rain.
Well, November Rain, I mean, I think that's still, I mean, it's one of the few songs where it's like 8 minutes long, and I think you can almost, if I had to, I could sing the whole song, even the guitar solo. So, I think a scaled back version of that, maybe just, maybe, I don't know. It
would have been cool to hear on 24 strings and a drummer. That would have been a great
that would have been
place to showcase that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be different, but I don't want to strip it down that much either.
I tell you, and this might be not quite fair what he's asking, but I would love to hear some of the Damn Yankees songs recorded with Night Ranger, because I think some of them songs to me felt like Night Ranger songs. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
You're gonna have people pissed off. Those are Damn Yankee songs.
Well, I love his Damn
Yankees.
I'm just saying, I would like to hear.
I don't. I hated when they re-recorded Coming of Age, and Damn Yankees. Just leave it at that. That's the way I look at it. I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't need to hear a Night Ranger version of. I think what I hate is hearing Ted play Night Ranger solos, and I hate hearing Night Ranger play Ted solos. Yeah. It's like both of them just butcher each one.
Well, they make it their own.
Don't make it their own. Like
have a. And I don't want them to be done now. I would have liked to have heard them recorded.
I'd like to be in on that meeting. Hey guys, hi Kelly, hi Brad. Hey, we're going to do an album and we're going to re-record Damn Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want them to do it now, but I would have liked to have heard what Night Ranger could have done with some of those songs. Back in the day. Instead of them being Damn Yankee songs, what they would have sounded like as Night Ranger songs.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think they would ever come about because, Tommy Shaw would have to be in the picture to help co-write them.
Yeah, and that's the thing that throws me off, because I always thought High Enough was a Night Ranger song that Jack brought to the band, and clearly we found that is not the case.
Yeah. Nope, and then Coming of Age was Tommy Shaw playing on piano, that opening riff, and then they took it from there. Come Again was even before Jack joined Damn Yankees. That was Tommy and Ted by themselves. Mystified was Ted by himself. I would assume Pile Driver is probably about the same.
Yeah, that sounds
like I said,
the song Damn Yankees, though, is a cool tune.
Yeah.
Don't Tread.
The only song I ever is, and again, this is just my speculation, that maybe Jack could have brought, maybe would have been "Tell Me How You Want It." It's the most Night Ranger sounding song. It's actually got that same lyric as "Girls All Like It" with Jimmy Page. I don't know, wearing his guitar low or something. I can't remember what the line is. So
that's a different song.
That's
the part about Jimmy Page is not "Tell Me How You Want It."
That's Rock City.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. So maybe Rock City
All
too.
Right, moving on.
Anything in the Night Ranger vaults? Well, from there's some stuff, newer stuff. But from the 80s, we think there's Sentimental Street with Jack singing. We don't know if there's rumors. I'm pretty sure there's rehearsals that have been.
Well, there's demos for sure. Because remember Mr. Carry On he was talking about?
Well, I'm getting there. You have rehearsals that were recorded. And then you have at least one of the two demo tapes still exist. Now, I know he said the one is still a reel-to-reel, I think, but we do know that because we have the picture of the second demo tape that has Mr. Carry On and, I don't know, Sister Christian. And, so you have that original demo tape. And again, you got the rehearsals. You have maybe Jack singing Sentimental Street. Obviously maybe some more demos out there. I mean, we know there's at least a demo tape that Jeff Watson had of acoustic stuff because that's what Jack heard to write Goodbye off of. So, we're just speculating what's out there.
I'd be interested to hear anything that if Brad brought it to the band and he was actually singing it. That'd be cool. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Here's an idea.
So there's that stuff. There are demos from the Night Ranger era with Gary Moon. There is the official, I won't say official, but there is the 4-track demo out there that has Love Ain't Easy, Never Say Die, Wrong Again, and Tonight We Stand Alone. So there's that demo, and then there are 2 other demo tapes that, as far as I know, I might be the only person that has. So there's those, and then when you get into Shaw Blades, I would have. Well, no, that was the bonus track. I was going to say Straight Down the Line, but that was on the Japanese bonus, so that wouldn't be a vault thing, 'cause it's out there. Is there leftover stuff from, these other records? I would assume there is. There is some stuff that I know exists that's not out there anywhere. So, yes, there is stuff out there in the vault, but we don't really know to what extent there is. Unlike Kiss, that, we know there's shit out there. It's just, they own the best quality version of it, but most of the stuff is out there. When is the Brad Gillis solo record coming out? The Brad record's done. I think they keep adding songs to it, maybe, but it's done.
And he is singing on that album.
He sings. Well, we don't. I don't think it's actually been finalized what tracks will go on. All right, if it is set up how it was, there would be, I think, 1 track that he would be singing on. He sang on 2 on his last record. I think the way it's set up now, he'd be singing on 1. But I would say you'd see it either at the end of the year, maybe early next year. You got to remember he has that other band, Skills. So, who knows if those will conflict or not, but hopefully that, Brad album will get out there. And I would almost think that they got enough to put 2 records out. That's the way I would look at it is, if not, I know they're damn close. So, just take half the songs, release them here, then a year later release the other half. So, again, there's no definite answer, but the good thing is it's there. It should be coming out hopefully soon. Patrick Fitzgerald again. Have Night Ranger thought about recording new versions of Mojo songs with Jack on vocals? That will not happen, Patrick. Steve Romig. How do they decide who sings what? Could there be versions of songs out there where the other one is singing a song? I think we kind of answered that one already. But a good question, Steve. Patrick Fitzgerald again. When are they going to tour California? I think they are going to avoid California because there are some yahoos out there who keep asking for them, like Patrick Fitzgerald and some others. I don't know. Remember, we're still only a few months from all the lockdowns ending, and they're still putting dates together.
And California is starting to back up again with the mask wearing and restrictions.
I think you're going to see certain states. You're going to see certain states that are very populated and states that are very much, I guess, that do not have high vaccination rates. You're going to see those states probably not being scheduled. Just like I said, California, New York. I mean, it's just those two, New York City, I guess, more than anything. When you just got a huge population, it doesn't take much for anything to spread. So those are going to be two hard states. And then, your states that just don't have high vaccination rates are going to be other states. I would assume Alabama's in there. So probably Alabama, you're not going to get some Night Ranger shows coming up. John Juanito Davey. The band is tuned down for live shows for years. Why not tune down for the albums as well? Well, for my opinion is it's different from doing a live show than doing an album. You can go all out on a song one time. But when you're on the road and you've got to sing live and you've got to sing, if I'm in the studio, I've just got to sing this song a few times. I can just belt it out and rest on my vocals for the whole night. When you're on the road and you're playing 3 nights in a row and you've got to sing for an hour and a half, it's a little bit different. You can't just belt it out. So, that to me, that's probably a good reason why they tune down live, but not so much in the studio. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, basically you got different tunings on guitars. You got basically what they call a standard tuning. There's all kinds of tunings. There's
a half step and a whole step.
You can do a drop D. Motley Crue's a lot in drop D. But when you drop down, you don't have to sing as high. I think Sammy may have just had to start dropping down a little bit. Sammy was always very proud that he never had to drop any tunings. But if the average, even the non-average fan, you're probably not going to notice it. But that's the reason why you don't have to hit as high and stuff like that. I mean, at least that's my opinion. I'll let you guys weigh in.
Yeah, I thought Sammy did it when you went to Indianapolis, Andy, and saw Sammy and Night Ranger.
Yeah.
And I said, I think Sammy's dropped a little bit, just from the stuff you had recorded. He still sounded great. I mean, my God.
I think it's like Josh said. I mean, the average fan's never going to notice. I mean, hell, I don't even notice. But I'm horrible with key and shit like that. So, but I think Josh was right. In the studio, you can do a lot of things, but touring and night after night, you got to think longevity. And Jack's and Kelly's voices are, still pretty good at this, 40 years in. And same with Sammy. I mean, Sammy's been screaming since the 70s. So,
and if you meet some of these musicians, especially ones that just really, vocal wise, have to hit it. I know Tom Kiefer, and when I met Miles Kennedy from Alderbridge after the show, they're not talking. They have someone with them basically say, guys, he'll sign stuff, but he's not. And he could talk, but they've just sang so much that they've basically got to shut off all their vocals.
Yeah.
To, to basically heal them and keep them fresh. I've known musician friends who it's like, hey, the night before, let's go get a beer, at a bar. And I've had him say, well, let's try not to go to a bar because if it's loud, you naturally speak up and it puts a little strain on your voice. And that little strain can impact you when you sing a show the next day. So it's little things you don't think about. Just go in your living room and actually sing like forcefully for 10 minutes. It's not easy, and you can feel it. And then just imagine.
I did it for an hour last night.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And I'm a little hoarse, And I didn't do it well either. I know that.
John, Juanito Davey again. The guys get to move all over the stage live. Even Kelly gets out from behind the kit for a few lead vocals, depending on the set list. Eric only gets to get over to Kelly's kit for the group percussion session, which rocks. Has there ever been any thought to grabbing a guitar for a song or two? And Guitar Hero posing with Brad, Carey, and Jack like Jonathan Cain used to do with Journey back in the 80s. The guitar, yes.
Love it.
Was that big, or was that the Secret of My Success video?
Yeah, the Fitz had one.
My keyboard player in my band back in Cincinnati has a guitar. I love it when he brings that thing out on stage. It's great.
I would just push it just so Eric would have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. I can hear him right now.
He would just look up at you like,
he'd smile.
I don't know. Because I would push it, and then he would go out there and do it, and then I would just be yelling at him that he sucked.
Like, who uses a guitar?
Yeah. Who the fuck told you that was a good idea? Yeah, I think John's obviously joking.
Yeah, having some fun.
I would think. But yeah,
But if Eric's watching this, it says, okay, challenge accepted. We got to get that. We got to get a video of that.
The thing is, I think in seriousness, if you ever brought a guitar out, you start making a joke of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and you're a rock band, you're not a joke. So I don't think, if it was a serious question, they should never do that. Yeah.
Well, that was just Jonathan Cain wanting to get more exposure on stage too. That's the one thing that sucks about the stationary musicians that have to be in one spot. When you got fans sitting on the opposite side of the stage, they're always going to see you just that far unless you bow or come out and throw stuff out to them at the end of the show.
That was the Secret of My Success video. Someone posted a screen grab of Fitz. Jeez. Yeah. And we wonder why that killed him. Anyways, Gail, Romaine, what are the hobbies or favorite things to do for the band members when they're not rocking with each other? I heard Jack collects vintage military, enjoys shooting guns. Is this true? What about the other guys? Gail, yes. I know. Even Kelly talked about, remember in the Kelly interview, that Jack had found like the captain's chest of the ship that his dad was on or whatever. So, Jack collects all that.
And of course, we said Brad guitars. And
Brad's all in the vintage guitars. When I'm with, Kelly, like the shows I'm with, when me and Kelly do have a little bit of time, I find that we talk about books. He'll mention a book that he's reading, and I've gotten lucky that either I've read the same book or I know the topic that he's talking about with the book. So maybe Kelly likes to read. I don't know if that's what he likes to do on the road, and I just know that last few times we've talked, we've just somehow gotten on a book he's reading. And so Eric is probably a lot like Fitz. He's probably programming a keyboard somewhere. And I would assume that Carrie's probably checking out the local brewery. But as for hobbies and stuff, again, I don't really know that. And the more we do know. I mean, I don't know if we would ever say. It's like I said, that's kind of their personal stuff, and I don't want to get too much into that. Cross any lines or anything like that. But if we get them on, we'll talk about their hobbies and stuff like that, or ask them those questions, Gail. Darren Smith, I'm a bit curious. How do they determine which songs they want to shoot videos for? Breakout seems like a great choice for a lead-off song. Bring It All Home is a nice song, but listening to the snippets, there are others I'm highly anticipating more. Secondly, having the blank movie screen in the video just screams at me. I do not know. I'm sure it's somewhat of a group discussion between them and management and probably the label. I assume the label's probably got a pretty good influence. I think if you look at the 3 singles they released now, you jump out with a rock song, probably go mid-tempo and then go ballad. Or, you probably at least always go rock song and then maybe can switch the two. Yes, I mean, to me, Dance should be the number one single off that record, but that's just me. But for how they choose, I'm sure it's just a conversations between the band's management and the label. Do you guys got anything to add to that? I mean,
I think Breakout was the obvious choice because it's so freaking heavy, and it's they want to be relevant, of course. I mean, how many bands? Okay, let me phrase this properly. Generally, when classic bands have been around for a longer time, they mellow out a little bit. This band doesn't stray from what they do, and I think they just wanted to show it. Plus, after the COVID, you did want to break out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a sign of the times, not playing not that song, but I mean, it's a statement on our where we are right now, in my opinion. So,
well, where we are right now is actually Sunday morning.
Jeez, you just said that and it's all the time. All right. Anyways, all right. So Mark Pellegrini, a couple things. Who has the final say? What gets included in the set list? Is the band members, tour manager, record company, etc.? That's the first part of the question. So let's just go with that. I would say it's just the band.
And a little bit of the fans, because if the fans don't respond, that's when they usually cut those songs.
I don't think I'm saying anything. I've seen them kind of discuss set lists. It's literally them just talking, and different venues, they got a different amount of time, so it's like, what are we taking out or what are we throwing in? And there's not a lot of songs. I mean, it basically have the same set and probably a handful of songs that you throw in or take out. Secret of My Success, Goodbye, I think they've kept Goodbye in, but it's like Sentimental Street they've started taking out. Why Does Love Have to Change?
Last night we lost Secret of My Success, Eddie's Coming Out Tonight, and Coming of Age. That's what we lost last night for being an opening band.
So, there's not a lot, but, with Rockfest, again, they took out Goodbye, Sentimental Street, Secret high enough. They kept Coming of Age, and then they put in both Night Ranger and Eddie. So it's just them really discussing, and then it's just, what is the venue, what's the crowd you're playing, and a lot can go into it. And I'm not saying this happened, but I'm just talking like in general. Let's say hey, we got some new songs we need to kind of test. Do we want, you may want to test them at a big show, depending on how you think, or you might want to test them at, well, hey, this show didn't sell many tickets. no one's going to be here, so why don't we just kind of test these songs out? So it all depends on what your mindset is too, on how you want to present, newer stuff. So, but who has the final say? It's just the band. Also, do they have any contact with Fitz? What's he been up to? Haven't seen or heard from him in years. Happy birthday to Fitz too. Well, Fitz is somewhat in a self-imposed retirement. If go listen to the David Lauser interview, we talk a little bit about that. That's
it.
all I'm going to say on probably the rest of that. Do they have contact with Fitz? I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't ever ask them, anything about Fitz. So I would assume there's got to be at least some legal contact. I mean, whenever you're like the Dr. Pepper song, I mean, Fitz has 10% of that Sister Christian song because of the way they split publishing. So unless he sold it back to the band, shit that I don't know about, I mean, if he still owns that, I would assume there has to be something. I mean, even if they don't need his permission, they've got to pay, they got to pay him. They got to keep, so how much, is that just between lawyers? I don't know. So we just don't know what the contact is between them and Fitz. I don't ever think there was a bad falling out. I just think it was, Fitz is kind of in a self-imposed retirement. So,
well, if he ever wants to come on, if you're watching it, you come on and answer that question yourself.
I know Fitz is watching.
I hope.
Barb Harrington. Does the band as a whole or individually have a stylist either now or in the past? There were some wild outfits in the 80s. Well, I think if you look at pictures of Brent and probably Andy, they did not have a stylist, but they did have some wild outfits. So you don't need a stylist to have wild outfits.
Andy went out and bought all these products that are listed on his shirt right there that they're selling.
Edge. Yeah, I was a product user, man.
I don't really know. I would say they don't because,
No.
I mean, like I said, if you look at the front of Big Life, it's like, like the UN or something. Like everybody's dressed differently. You have a rocker, then a business casual, and the Italian workout, outfit, and I don't know. The only time I ever think they got a stylist was a photo shoot or two for Man in Motion. Like that's the only time like they looked like they were all on the same page, and shit made a little bit of sense, and you really didn't have to do it in the early 80s because it wasn't quite as important. But right around Seven Wishes,
Jeff walked into a merry-go-round and was wearing the parachute pants,
and that Night Ranger, the Night Ranger like band leader,
marching band,
which was cool at the time. I mean, I
don't know if it was.
And all of us, I mean, no one escapes this. It's just, unfortunately for Night Ranger, there was 1,000 photographers to document their 80s experience. But I think the only time they probably had a stylist for sure would probably be those
photo shoot.
A couple of photo shoots for Man in Motion. What else we got here? Emily Medler, can you interview Jack? Well, Jack has been wanting to come on, but getting him into my schedule has been a little bit difficult. So when I get the time, I will call Jack back and tell him, hey, you officially can be on Fans in Motion.
Oh, I thought she was talking about Jack Black. We can get Jack Black on here.
Lisa Rourke. I'd like to know when they're going to play Kansas or Oklahoma. Well, You're not going to be too. Well, I guess you're about a state away from Columbia because that's Arkansas and Missouri. So we need to go farther west. I think you're out
Don't know
of
yet.
luck. My first question is, get the fuck out of there. Why are you there? There ain't nothing good in Kansas or Oklahoma. All right, Kansas is like a damn cornfield with a road through it. So, Lisa, I think you're better off. Move east, move west. Get out of Kansas or Oklahoma. And if you're listening,
I was going to say, speaking of Kansas, we lost their violin player over the week.
yes, I
Can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Him.
He also sang some songs. I don't think any of them were the big hits, but he was also the lead vocalist on a few songs on each record. But yes, someone else passed away too. I was going to.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But
Someone else just recently that passed away today, Jackie Mason.
yes,
Yeah, I saw that.
Harry from The Jerk owns the filling station.
Take my wife, please.
I thought he'd already passed. To be honest with you,
I think a lot of people did, but yeah.
Kathy Kirkman Lane. Oh, and I apologize to anybody in Kansas or Oklahoma. I don't know why, but I am. Kathy Kirkman Lane. Oh, since you guys have been catching some of the shows, I would love someone to attach a fitness tracker to Jack to see how many steps he gets in a standard show. That guy has some serious energy. The closest fans in motion guesser wins a meet and greet and a front row seat. And the girl with the fantastic idea wins too. Yes, I mean that's part of the appeal for Night Rangers. I think that's why they still draw. They're not drawing because of their studio albums. I mean, that's why their hardcore fans like them. But 95, 90, probably higher than that, people at that show last night, they probably think Seven Wishes was the last damn record. The reason why Night Ranger draws is because of their live show, and Jack's a big part of that. Yes, I'm sure that's why he's, still probably can fit into his Sentimental Street Pants, is because number one, he's active, but also, like I said, they take good care of themselves. I mean, they're always eating healthy and stuff whenever I see them, and yogurts and stuff like that. And he could, if he still had his medium Big Life shirt from 1987, he dug it out, it would slide right on.
Robbie Steinhardt was the member of Kansas.
All right. Brian Bless. How do Jack and Kelly decide who sings on each song? I think we kind of answered that one. Brian Bless again. Heard of any plans to release any drop tracks from previous albums? No. And I don't know what all they got. I mean, everything that we know they got's been released as bonus tracks and stuff like that. There's probably a few things still sitting out there, but no plans to release anything. Has the band ever considered doing, or have they done a show that features all tracks from a single album? That would be what the Dawn of Madness too, right? Where they did the Dawn of Madness tour, I think 2019. Originally, it was supposed to be one show in Wisconsin, and then they ended up doing it for a few shows, one being in Cleveland that Andy saw, where they played the entire Dawn Patrol record, the entire Midnight Madness record. Then they even played some, I don't know what they did there. I saw a set list once. They played Panic and Jane, Reason to Be, Forever All Over Again. So some, unique stuff from those records. To me, and I've argued this probably in other episodes, is, these are really going to be the last time you can really celebrate anniversaries. You're not going to be really in any shape to celebrate a 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
All right? You're going to be almost 80 years old when the 50th anniversary of Dawn Patrol comes out. So this is your only really opportunity to celebrate a big anniversary. To me, 2022, you're pushing, I'd even start doing it right now, pushing 40 years of Dawn Patrol, and you play Dawn Patrol start to finish, and then, the hits. And you're not adding that many songs. I mean, you already play 4 out of the 10 songs. And you do that for a couple years, and then in 2023 and 2024, you do 40 years of Midnight Madness. 2025, 2026, 40 years of Seven Wishes. And then you're going right into a farewell tour. I've just mapped out.
Playing Neverland in its entirety.
Yes. So that's what my little thing. But yes, they have played albums in their entirety 2 times, just recently in the last few years.
And it's really cool to see. It is. I mean, if you're a diehard fan and if you're on this page and especially watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, you're a diehard. It's fantastic.
And I think, really you could get away with doing those 3 records.
Yeah, easily.
They could just advertise it playing, Dawn Patrol in its entirety and all the other hits. And, because most people, when they think Night Ranger, they think Dawn Patrol, Midnight Madness, Seven Wishes. That's just how it is.
Hey, I thought of a re-record. It's the easiest one to think of. Wild and Innocent Youth.
Sure.
I'd love to hear an updated version of that. That's not as tinny sounding, Plus, we'd get it on something we could have in a collection. That song's not on anything other than that soundtrack. So
I got right there on a 12-inch single.
Well, but it's not on a compilation or anything.
Make sure
that.
EQ's right. Don't sound tinny. I
Well,
don't need that. I don't need that re-recorded.
I got mine off of someone.
Has the band ever considered doing, or have they done? That's the same fucking question. Who came up with the genie lamp idea for the stage show for the Seven Wishes tour?
Andy. Andy did.
I do not know. I do know in interviews they talk about that being a kind of like a concept record and the concept videos. Like they wanted everything to tie in. And they said really Seven Wishes kind of kicked all that off. I can't remember what interview I was reading. So it was from that time period. So
they should have did 7 videos then,
Yeah.
Yeah, because no other band ever did 7 videos for maybe Hysteria.
Oh, you have to say Def Leppard.
Yeah, so.
Well, hell, Yes did 32 for one song.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Has Night Ranger ever banned another band from playing with them?
Andy's band.
Yeah, we would never get a chance.
I don't know of Night Ranger ever having issues like banning someone. I mean, there was that little blurb with Richard Marx's book about him having, a feud or disagreements with a few artists, and Night Ranger was one of them. And that, but we don't know what that is. I mean, Andy, you're going to have to buy the new Richard Marx book, but I do not know. I've never heard of them having any issues with any bands. But again, these are questions, we'll have to throw at band members.
And they might even, we have a beef with Richard Marx,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really?
Well, it was the 80s. They probably don't remember a lot. If Night Ranger were put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, would they enshrine the original lineup or current lineup or just the core of the group?
Well, I'm going to say we're going to try to help you answer that question because we're going to do a big, like I'm saying, doing the pre-order thing. You wait till the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stuff comes out and we can vote for it.
Well, I used to tell people that Night Ranger was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And like, no, they weren't. Like, yes, they were. I was there. I saw them, blah, blah, blah. Because I was in the gift shop 25 years ago, and they had Night Ranger's Greatest Hits. But
there you go.
Listen, if Night Ranger was enshrined in the Hall of Fame, they're getting enshrined because of their first 3 records. That's it. And it would be all 5 members because all 5 contributed. You're not getting anybody else in there. So,
and I think that's sad. That's sad to me.
Well, it can be sad all you want, but I mean, number one, Night Ranger's not getting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It just isn't happening.
Fans of Motion are going to get them in there.
Well, if Fans of Motion get Night Ranger into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
I said we got a fan vote. We all got a fan vote of somebody.
If we can do that, then we can also work on world peace. I mean, because we're working some miracles. I mean, I like Night Ranger and everything, but Christ, they're not getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, let's work on Iron Maiden and Judas Priest first.
I have so many issues with the Hall of Fame. I can't even comment on this.
If Night Ranger got in, they're getting in on those 3 records and those 5 members. That's it. And that would be it, so yeah, there you go. But like I said, Night Ranger is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I saw them there. Does Night Ranger have a favorite arena or location to play?
The Midwest.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think obviously, they've always
bread and butter.
Talked about the Midwest. Cleveland breaking Sister Christian, and I mean, just their live show from 2017 was recorded in Chicago. Just most of those bands just have a strong following in the Midwest and over to the East Coast, and obviously, I'm sure they enjoy playing California and where they're from, but that'd be something again you'd have to ask them. I'm sure there's probably certain venues that they enjoy playing, and I'm sure they probably like going to shows where they know Brent's not going to be at. So
definitely.
So where did you record Atbpo and where did you shoot the video? The videos were recorded Bombay Beach in Salton Sea, California, and I would have had to look that up, but Vicky posted a screenshot there, so thank you, Vicky. And the album was recorded all in their own personal studios.
Yeah, all over.
Yeah, so basically they just send files back and forth to each other and add on to it, and long story short is they build the songs up, that way. Maybe we'll get Eric or someone on to talk a little bit about that process and how that works.
Now, Josh, they were talking about on stage last night, well, we were rehearsing this at sound check. We've only played it a couple times. Did they do that in sound check at all in Clear Lake?
You know what? I was so busy during sound check. I was busy checking out.
So I don't think they did. I mean, I wasn't there, of course, but you didn't. We talked, but you didn't talk about it. And because when we were in Wabash and they were working those songs out, I'm like, this might be the very first time they've ever played these songs as a group, and they were great.
Did they sound check the other song?
Yep.
In Wabash. All right, I didn't hear that one. I think they did break out. Maybe I don't fucking know. So you may have heard it for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool seeing them, and they all knew their parts. It was, and I'm thinking, oh, they're going to play this tonight. No, they were just getting it together.
I honestly I couldn't tell you if they played it at sound check or not. Like I said, I was actually helping Ed
But that venue was different than what they had in Wabash too. They had that whole theater and
yeah, but they sound checked for a good amount of time at Clear Lake. I mean, they went over a lot of stuff, but it was the first time they'd really had gotten back together and had some actually time to do it. So I would assume they probably did mess around with it, but I just was not there. Or I don't remember it.
Good night.
Yeah. Well, what happens is I accidentally back out, and then I gotta find where the hell it was. John Juanito Davey, if the band does a Wishes Big Tour 7 Lives tour, what the hell? 7 Lives.
Mashing up the albums.
Yeah.
Well, so 7.
Big Wishes.
No, he's talking about 7 from 1997. They should totally bring a B-52 or B-25 Mitchell on the road with them, or at least have the nose of the plane. They could dress up in the same Air Force uniforms, including Brad's aviator cap. Then, during the album setlist change, they do a costume change to the exact clothes from the cover of the Big Life, and Andy would MC it in his Big Life shirt.
Hell yeah!
Added that they could bring Joel out as a special guest to drop a few solos like he plays while Cher changes costumes during her residency shows. John, you have a lot of time on your hands. Yes, they could bring the B-25 Mitchell, kind of like they did for Aces High on the last Iron Maiden tour. So go check out 2019 Iron Maiden Aces High, and they got a Spitfire. Full-size Spitfire comes out and flies over the stage. Yeah. Well, I know you're kind of having fun here, but if those who think that's serious, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, let's do it.
Number
Ladies
one,
and gentlemen, color of your smile.
You got to build it, and then you got to haul it, and then you got to have the stage hands to put it on stage. So that's the stuff you got to remember.
And you got to have certain venues that could actually hold it.
Yeah. You wouldn't be doing and I think, just me just doing those shows, those 3 shows, and just seeing how different each venue was. Wabash had so much room in that theater, but yet Surf Ballroom, there was no extra room.
Yeah.
But yes, would it be cool? I would love for them to incorporate. And I think the easiest thing to do would be incorporate the genie lamp again.
Yeah.
Just something to sit on top of that riser and everything. I don't know. I don't think they would do. I think it would be a little bit corny now. To do the hand and shit. But
no, but you know what they could do? They could be on top of the riser and all reach in and pull their guitars out.
Yeah, I think that would work. There you go, Brent. Look at that.
Or pull fans out.
The big brain on Brent.
Well, that way, they're not having to climb out of it. Have Ed under there handing them with the guitars.
This fucking show starts, and then you see Brad fall back in, and then they've got to cancel. And
oh, my other rotator cuff.
So yeah. So there. I don't know if we answered that question, John. When's Brad's solo record going to be out? That's Janice. Yes.
Next year.
It's coming. Don't worry. Christy Casey Orman, is there any pressure other than self-imposed to keep producing new music and to tour? Is there a competition between bands to see who can book the best tours or co-headline with another? What are the differences between touring now and 35 years ago? Again, Christy, obviously you know this. I can't answer for the band. I would say there is no pressure to keep producing new music. These guys are not getting rich off new CDs. This is something they do for just the love of it. And I'm pretty sure it's Night Ranger. I've heard talk about it. There's actually less pressure with putting out new music because you don't have to write a hit. It used to be, in the 80s, that pressure was you got to follow this up with hits. And now they can just kind of write what they want, and it doesn't matter if they had a hit or not. It wouldn't be played. So I don't think there's any pressure on that. I would say there is probably competition between bands who can book the best tours and co-headline. It's a very small world when you get into that business.
Now they're all just competing for venues with everybody, trying to book all at once.
Think about, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and Poison. Think about who was, to get that 4th slot that Joan Jett got. There's a lot of groups that could have filled that, and I'm sure wanted that. That Sammy Hagar, Whitesnake, Night Ranger. There's other bands that could have filled those slots, and probably would have, but Night Ranger, got that. So
yeah, Rat got screwed out of that Motley tour. Rat would be better than Motley anyway.
But
Rat's great.
Oh,
Which Rat? Bobby Blotzer's Rat or Rat?
Now, Bobby Boss's rat doesn't exist any longer.
Oh, that's my favorite rat.
But no, anything with Stephen Piercy. He still got the chops.
Well, I don't. He's all right, but I don't. Rat's definitely not the same draw as.
No, they're not.
Crue.
But I always thought they were better than Motley Crue.
I mean, I like Rat, but
their music has stood the test of time. Where, God, if I hear certain Motley Crue tunes, oh my God, how was that ever popular? You know, I mean, girls, I get it, and Wild Side, but anything, and maybe All in the Name of off Girls, but anything else on that record, ooh, junk. You know.
And the last question she had was, what are some differences between touring now and 35 years ago? Well, I'd say one, probably you don't really think of. I mean, you know, it's not really on the music side, but just having cell phones. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, just being able to talk to your family whenever you want and not, okay, I got to go to a payphone and I'll talk to you for here, you know, for that. So that.
Please deposit another quarter. You know, constantly.
Music-wise, you know, you don't have to pack all kinds of amplify. I mean, you can basically, there's amps out there that you can plug into that you can basically hand carry, that you can basically manipulate to be a, you know, a Marshall stack, whatever kind of amp you want. And it's something that you can hand carry, and you can just backline everything. Just basically, the venue provides all the equipment, and you just bring, you know, your core equipment. So that's the other thing. It's probably different. You don't need as much.
Yeah, there's a lot less overhead today than there used to be. But a lot of them are doing this weekend warrior things where they fly in and fly out, and versus playing 5 nights a week and got all those road miles on a bus, and you've got a bigger crew that you're touring with too.
Yeah, and, you know, and you're growing up a little bit, so you're not, you know, out there partaking in all the vices and stuff like that. That'll wear you down even.
Very much less cocaine and less trousers.
Yeah, well.
Probably more trousers. Probably more.
Patty Saurus, if they didn't make it in music, what would they be doing? What's the first thing they bought when they signed their first contract? BMWs and more BMWs.
Yeah.
I do know they had a lot of BMWs, like in their tour books and stuff.
Yeah.
I do know one of them owned like a brand new Toyota Celica when those things were kind of pretty badass coming out. Yeah, not a Fiore, but so I don't know what the first thing they bought, but I don't know. I mean, I don't even know just from them what would they be doing if they didn't make
working for Molly's mom still.
Probably Shuggy.
Yeah.
But you know, Jack had talked about, you know, he'd been in med school some, and I'm sure they'd all probably gotten into the music business somehow. Teaching or studio work. Fitz already had a career. So, you know, Fitz was probably the most established when the band started. So,
and at that time where they were from, a hotbed of stuff going on with all the connections they had made, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Frisco was happening back then.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think Fitz would have definitely, he would have been doing music. I mean, as he was already doing, he probably still just would have done similar things, background stuff.
Well, then, you know, Brad already had an Aussie gig, so he could live off that for a while. So, Lena Hall, since David Coverdale of Whitesnake is retiring, would the guys in Night Ranger ever consider rehiring Joel Hoekstra? Not get rid of Kerry Kelly, but keep him as well and have a trio of guitars. Well, Lena, that's a good thought. I don't think that would ever happen. Not that I don't know if there's any bad feelings with Joel or anything like that, but, you know, why are you adding another salary? Remember, this is the music business. Why are you adding another salary to a budget when you don't have to? So that would be you know. And guitar players got egos, man. You're not, hey, we're going to bring this guy in and take solos away from you guys. That's just not going to happen. And then you got to think, not only are you paying this dude, but now you got to pay an extra hotel room, extra air flights. So I could see if Carrie's like, hey, I'm going to go play with Alice Cooper again or something. And, Joel's open. I could see them maybe getting Joel back, but not as a trio. Oh, shit. What else we got here? Blah, 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 blah. But, it's not unheard of as Robin Ludite. She doesn't pronounce her last name correct.
Ludite. It's Ludite.
That's what she says, but she's lying.
I know.
Iron Maiden has 3 for sure. So, that happened with Maiden where Adrian Smith left. They got Dave Murray to replace him. So you had not Dave Murray.
Dave Murray.
Dave Murray's the original. Who are they replacing with?
I don't know the guy's name.
Janet Gears. So they replaced it with, I think it's Janet Gears, something like that. And then when Adrian Smith came back, or they kind of came back with Bruce Dickinson, Adrian Smith came back and they just kept all 3. So they didn't get rid of the replacement. They just kept him. So they went from 2 guitar players to 3. So not unheard of. Randy Vukovic would like you to discuss what you know about the Making the 7 Wishes tour concert video. Such an awesome video with amazing performances by the band and great production. Maybe you could talk to some of the people who put it together, do some research. Where was it filmed? Was anything edited out? Love to hear band members reflect on that performance, which would be great questions to ask when we get all of them on.
Irvine Meadows.
We do discuss the September 18th or something like that, 1985.
That place no longer exists either.
Does not?
Nope.
What I remember from it is being 8 years old and it being the Saturday night concert of the week on MTV and my aunt taping it and then me rewatching it till the tape about died. That's my recollection of it. I eventually bought it on VHS, the official version, probably late 80s, early 90s. Well, it was probably later than that. I probably got it on VHS like in 93. There's a little music store that would order stuff, from a catalog, and they ordered it for me. So it was still in print into the 90s because that's when I got my first official video of it. Do you guys remember that being out on MTV?
Oh God, I remember going to Camelot Music and buying that thing
on beta.
No, I got it on VHS, and it's still in the shrink wrap. I kept all my stuff in the shrink wrap.
Yeah,
when I opened it, it looks brand new.
Yeah, I mean, talking to some people that put it together is, obviously on our list. Was anything edited out? Yes. We always talk about that Superstars or whatever, the Westwood one. Mm-hmm. Little things were edited out. Again, the intro is a little bit longer. I think they edited out some of the Jack Blade stuff and Rumors in the Air where he kind of falls to the ground and the VHS, it kind of like he gets back up and starts singing, where on the audio, I think he stays on the ground. He mentions Irvine Meadows and stuff like that. So there is some stuff edited out. Nothing, song-wise, I think it's pretty much track to track. I don't think there was anything missing difference from the VHS to the records. I'd have to look at that again. But
the great thing was the consistency of whoever put those things together never paid attention to what guitars the people were using in those live concerts, and they would use footage just to get somebody some screen time, and they wouldn't have the guitar they're actually playing the song with. If you watch all those things, you'll see that like crazy.
The continuity errors.
Yeah. Like, Brad just had that crazy looking hammer. I don't know if it was in that video, but I'm almost sure it was.
Yeah.
But it was in all of them.
Yeah.
And it would drive me crazy. My OCD back then would just be like, God, how could you not know that he's not playing that guitar?
Yeah. They don't.
know?
James Brown, the Godfather of Soul, is the song Kelly Keagy uses in his mother's tribute video after her passing available anywhere. Does it have a name? Love the song and its overall meaning. I do not think it's available anywhere, and I do not know the name. That's probably something I need to ask him for you, James.
If only there was a way to reach Kelly Keagy.
Yeah, well, you know. Will, you know, I'll tell you that I'll get on that, but I won't. I'll forget.
He won't.
But hopefully it'll be on the, you know, like I said, hopefully Kelly's working on some new stuff, and hopefully on a new Kelly Keagy solo record, that will be a track that's on there. Alexa Groth, you should ask those crazy chicks in the front row at the surf, Lori Pierce, do you remember them? They wore the Brad Gillis tank tops and were a total blast in a glass. On the advice of my lawyer, I can neither confirm or to deny remembering anything from Iowa. And John Wharton, we all know touring and recording has changed in the past 18-20 months. What are some of the more sublime changes? Well, trying to think if there's anything really different from any of the shows that we've been to. I really can't think of. I mean, when I went to Houston in early May, it was still, Texas was kind of opened up. But you still needed masks in the hotel and stuff like that. But when I was in Iowa and Wisconsin, and I didn't see, no difference.
Nothing, yeah.
No.
I mean, I was sure there's, like, when you get business-wise in the contracts, there's protections that normally wouldn't be there. Like, hey, if there's a COVID outbreak, we got the option to push it back 6 months or some horse shit like that.
Right.
But other than that, I mean,
Nobody was checking your temperature coming in the door. Nothing.
Yeah.
It was just like a regular, like it's always been.
And then that's all for the last one that's all for the one I posted a couple weeks ago. Didn't I post one tonight? Oh, yeah, right there. Okay. What do we got? Anthony Leonard. Question: was there ever a set list that didn't include Sister Christian? Dino Eduardo, you stole
on
my
the Midnight Madness or on the Dawn Patrol tour, didn't?
Stole my answer. Yeah, that's what Dino wrote. I was gonna when originally I saw that question, I was like, yeah, the whole Dawn Patrol tour. I would say Sister Christian's probably been in every set.
Even when Kelly was with his heart surgery was out, they still did it, correct?
I think Jack sang it. I'm sure Dean could have sang it.
Yeah.
I know there's been a set or two maybe without You Can Still Rock in America because it usually closes. And I know there's been there's some, I can't remember what happened, but something happened. They weren't able to finish the show. So there was no You Can Still Rock in America.
Yeah.
I think a fan or something wrote something about that maybe on the page once or something. So is there an anomaly where they couldn't do Don't Tell Me You Love Me or You Can Still Rock in America because the show got unexpectedly shortened? Probably. But I would say Sister Christian, Don't Tell Me You Love Me, You Still Rock in America. Those three, with probably when you close your eyes right behind it, are probably the four staples. I've seen shows without 4 in the Morning, Goodbye, Sentimental Street. I've seen shows, and I loved it, without Secret of My Success. So,
Well, what I got to do is I got to go back on Setlist FM, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And see the Midnight Madness tour before that song was a hit, if they were playing it. You know, I'm sure there were shows that didn't play it then.
Possibly. But also,
I mean, that's a good thought.
Here's the thing. Setlist FM is you just use as a reference because they got shows.
It's like it's Wikipedia for concerts.
Well, Wikipedia is actually usually really well done, somewhat. All right, because even if you go in there, just go in there and be tight, unless it's something like real obscure. But if I went in there and I wrote, Jack Blades quit Night Ranger in 1992 and has never played with them since, it's not going to stay on there very long because someone's going to get on there and just take that out and no. And a lot of times to change stuff on there, you have to have some, credibility on certain things. But Setlist FM, no. It's good, but there's shows on there that I see that I just, I was at that show, and I know it's the right date, but I know it wasn't 1990, it was 1995.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go off of that, they were playing Sister Christian on the later stages of the Dawn Patrol tour because it's in a couple set lists, and it seems about right because it's all Dawn Patrol stuff, but Sister Christian's thrown in there. It's only a couple things, and one of them's a TV taping. Again, it's before Midnight Madness, but I can't remember the show, but they showed the TV taping, and it was about 6 songs, all Dawn Patrol. Sister Christian was one, and it has asterisks next to 2 songs that didn't air, Sister Christian being one of them. Just go, it's like summer of 83, somewhere in there before Midnight Madness is released. So, yes, they may have been playing Sister Christian early on. You guys both look tired, fuckers.
I was watching Andy's eyes. His eyes are getting really...
Well, I'm watching the timer that we've been talking for 3 hours.
Well, we only been
we
recording.
thought this was going to go quick.
Well, I don't know who thought it. I didn't say that because I knew damn well it wasn't going to go quick.
We don't have to answer every question in one episode, do we?
Hey, you know what? We're dedicated. Mike Hetler. Hey, listen, we just got to the halfway point. We might as well finish it up.
Yeah. That's what it feels like.
I always wondered if any of the songs Jack recorded with Damn Yankees were scratched Night Ranger songs. There you go, Andrew. Wake up.
Yeah, hey, that was answered 2 hours ago.
Well, people forgot by then, so we need to rehash it.
No, Josh thinks that's a stupid idea.
I didn't say it was a stupid idea. I just said it's not right.
Okay.
Because we've heard that they wrote those songs together with Tommy. You're tired when your head hits your mic, like Brent did that one interview.
It's never been released.
It's never been released, but old Brent Tree was pretty tired.
Well, it was at that point it was 3:45 in the morning.
But
that thing went on forever.
But Mike, yes, I don't think any of the songs that were recorded for that Damn Yankees record were scratch Night Ranger songs.
Yeah.
Dave Glazer, question 1: who wears the Tigers hat better, Josh Christopherson or Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck.
Well, Darren Smith.
All day.
Oh, please. And he showed Selleck. Yeah, I got to disagree with you. I'm a pretty handsome fellow there. Number 2, did Brent say in the last podcast that he attended a Debbie Gibson concert, or did I hear him wrong?
Oh, that's really...
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was there.
He's there.
He loves Deborah Gibson.
Here, go ahead, keep talking. I will get the picture and put it behind me as you're doing these questions. So we'll put it out there. That'll be a bonus for the pod.
Andy, question number 3. I'm still trying to figure out if this is the podcast I didn't know I needed, or is it actually the one about foot fungus I've gotten hooked on lately. They have a similar effect. They grow on you, given time.
Wow.
Well, you needed the foot fungus podcast. That's a medical thing. You do need that. This one is the one you did not know you needed. You didn't know
That
you had
is
this
like-
love and passion for Night Ranger, as some people have attested to, and they said they found us via a podcast. So they didn't even know they needed to. Like, holy crap, I need this in my life.
Gail Romaine, would the Night Ranger boys be open to a special FIM Fans in Motion concert? Gail, for the right price, they would be open for anything. Yes, I'm sure they would, but that cost money, and yeah,
we should start a GoFundMe.
Well, here's another thing: you would probably have to
Yeah.
include additional money for them to learn new songs, because like,
Yeah.
what's a special Fans in Motion concert? Well, hey, we want Halfway to the Sun, and we want
Don't start thinking.
yeah, so they've got to take the time to learn all those songs. That's going to be a little bit more cash. Like, why are they going to do that show for the same money when they can go play a show for the same money and just do whatever they already know? But maybe what I'd like to do is hopefully get deeper in their circle and get some blackmail on them. And then when I've got the good blackmail is when the Fans in Motion Night Ranger concert gets announced.
Yeah.
I'd just let them get up there and lip sync it like on Solid Gold. I'd be happy.
The next Picktown Palooza will just be just nothing but Night Ranger.
Western dates, Darren Smith. Western dates coming. I'm really glad all of you have been getting to see all the boys. How about Sharon? Darren, I'm more than certain some Western dates shall be coming. Where's Darren at? They got the Texas date in January of next year. I'll tell you who's been lucky is like fucking Wisconsin. Like, like they were in Wisconsin so much this month, they're pretty much getting their mail there. And to close it out, Jerry Beach. Why isn't Lou Whitaker in the Hall of Fame? Well, because the Hall of Fame probably sucks a lot like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Whitaker should be there along with Trammell. So, that's all I got to say about.
I have no opinion on that.
Concepcion should be in too, but whatever.
Oh,
He
Davey.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. How come this is not working?
I'm gonna say
Isn't who
user
besides
error?
besides Pete and Davey? Isn't the whole Big Red Machine in the Hall of Fame? The starting lineup.
Cesar Geronimo is not.
George Foster's not. The only ones that are in would be.
Look at
There
that.
you go.
Holy.
That was right
time
after the.
machine.
That was right after the kiss on my cheek. And
Look at
That
that.
shit-eating grin on Brent.
You know
Oh.
what? It's like I don't
Nice
know.
shirt,
I
Brent, by
was
the
gonna say
way.
I don't know how
Yeah.
you didn't get laid with the Flintstone shirt.
It was cold that night.
What's that got to do with the sun?
Yeah.
Never
I got that at Kings Island actually.
Yeah, whenever it gets cold, I'd break out my Bam Bam shirt.
No, I just poured it. I would just put it on in the car because it was cold. It was it was cool. And that was the 80s. I mean, we walked around and had shorts with sharks with sunglasses on. You could wear,
Look at that.
But yeah.
Look at that paw. You can see your paw on her.
Yeah, look at that kid. I got a kiss on the cheek, and I told you I got a Joker smile going on, man. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's a Fans in Motion exclusive.
See if you can match that smile, Brent. Tilt your head. We need to see more teeth.
Guy, I couldn't recreate that if I tried. But yeah.
But
How do you
that's
top that, Josh?
you don't.
He's gonna pull one out of Tiffany on her mall tour.
Well, I like Tiffany. I like the redheads.
There we go.
Plus, they don't have souls. But that's all the questions. So hopefully, either your questions were answered or we lied enough successfully for you to think that they were.
Yeah, that's gonna be the cover of the next episode right there. That should be the cover.
That should be your profile pic.
Is that Coco Beware back there doing security?
That was somebody at the hotel, bellhop.
Oh, I see that now. The
The gold thing
the
for the luggage. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good night.
Yeah.
It looked like you were just leaving her room.
Oh, I was. She just couldn't shake my love.
She just wasn't there.
She couldn't shake my love.
All right, so there you go. You got 2.5 hours of nothing but Night Ranger talk.
And it ended strong with the picture.
Yeah, that's nice. It was a nice little boost.
Well, that's just part one. You didn't end nowhere. So now what are we going to talk about?
We'll take a break and come back, right?
Let's just keep it going. I'll just start.
I actually do have to go to work tomorrow, so I'll have to sign off at some point in time.
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
I'll just start grabbing shit around here and we'll talk about it. What we got? Oh, hey, I know what. One thing we do have to do.
I know how to make you stop, Andy. I can say the same thing I said when we first.
I got a red button I can hit here and end it for me.
We got to do the. Remember, I said if you posted a thing, you got. I do a contest for the Carrie Kelly guitar pick. So, anyways, here is all the names. All right, so let's pull one out for let's give away two. I think I got an extra Jack Blades one, so let's give away a Jack Blades pick and a Carrie Kelly pick. So this is going to be for the Jack Blades.
Get out of the way.
Kevin Avery.
Hey!
You've got the Jack Blades pick.
You are a winner.
For the Carrie Kelly pick.
Okay, Andy, do the long name again.
Carrie Kelly, Sarah Griffith. So, you've got... So there you go.
You could have went,
so there you go. Job. We got some guitar.
She probably already has one of those.
Yeah. Probably, and if so, we'll just, I'll do another drawing.
She'll get another one.
Yep. All right. Well, there you guys go. All your Night Ranger questions answered.
Pre-order.
We got a lot of new listeners, so I'll go through the spiel. Go to the Facebook page, just search Night Ranger Fans in Motion, click like. That's where everything's based out of. We also have the Fans in Motion website where you can go and listen to the podcast on just the audio on all the web catchers, Spotify and Pandora and all those. I think there's like 8 different ones. So you got that. We also, I guess I should have mentioned this earlier, we have the Fans in Motion Twitter page now and Instagram. The Twitter page is cool because I can real easily share different Night Ranger news. Or if someone makes a post, I can just retweet it. Real simple, even easier than the Facebook. So go, and I try to do exclusive stuff. There's exclusive Brad Gillis photos from Wabash, him signing the wall, that I only put on Twitter. So I'm going to try to do that, just make them all kind of unique. I made a post. I will, again, try to redo it, but go find it to where you can go to every band member and follow all their pages. So if at the show last night, if you followed them all, you got to see some on Facebook, and there were some that only went live on Instagram. So if you follow them all, you're going to get them all, but you got to, like, I think Kelly's, I went live on Instagram, not on Facebook. So each of them have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Are all of them active at the moment? No, but that is a work in progress. So there we go. Night Ranger World starting to take off. New record coming out. Podcast is doing good. The only person not doing good is me. I'm tired, exhausted.
It's late
So
for those that are keeping score at home.
it's been a long fucking 2 or 3 years. So
in the past week.
All right, Andy, Brent, take us out.
There you go. Thanks everybody for staying tuned. If you're still watching, God bless you. Hope we answered, like Josh said, hope we answered your questions.
They're watching it. If you got a little bit of beer left that you haven't finished off yet, WKRP, Shapin' Chapin, Whammy Bar,
Buckeyes, Ohio State.
Buckeyes. Yeah, anything. Paul Stanley, yeah. There's one.
Here's the thing. If they're still watching this,
they're drunk.
They don't need reasons to drink.
They're drunk.
I mean, they have the reason they're still watching.
I'm just trying to help them kill it off. So, but yeah, seriously, you got a few more days to pre-order. Fans in Motion, we can do this. We can make this a #1 record. Because let's face it, after the first week, after that, sales just die. Unless your name's Taylor Swift, sales die for artists. So if you're going to buy it early, or at least have enough sense to buy it the first week it's out. After that, it's over with. So
yeah,
let's do it.
We'll keep pushing.
Rock and roll hoochie coo. We'll talk to y'all next week. Later.